again, we'll talk about that a bit now. And Cammie's saying that she's got faith in our boys. It's going to be tough. It can go anywhere, but I think we are solid. Michelle then saying, I'd love to see Mighty Bug at 10 against New Zealand as a real test to see if he can stand up to the real challenge. He was good on Saturday, but I feel it was not challenged. Chaps, let's talk about Saturday, shall we? We had the first round of Rugby Championship. And again, I think almost every half was something a bit different. So we've seen so far a good New Zealand performance, a good South Africa performance, a pretty woeful Wallabies performance, a very iffy Argentina performance. I think it's probably quite cool that Argentina and Australia were both playing against each other this weekend, so they'll be able to sort of respond. And then on the back of two sort of 40 plus or scoring 40 plus in their wins, South Africa versus New Zealand. Before we talk about the actual clash, let's talk about the South African team, shall we? And quite a few changes expected. So it's the same front row, but apart from that, it's a very different pack. I'm David Delindi back in the centres. David Willems at 10. There's a lot to pick apart here. Let's start with the pack, Wes. Is this pack going to bully the All Blacks? Can they bully the All Blacks?
Cool. Yeah, instinct as a South African is to say, of course we can. Absolutely. Yeah. I think it is a solid pack. I think, not just the Oaks starting. I think if you look at the guys on the bench, which we'll get to, but there are some big, strong boys in this side. So now I'm excited to see this pack at work, and I think what I'm keen to see is our lineouts as well. That was my one area for our game against Oz, where we weren't as clinical as we should have been. We lost a few lineout balls, but now back with good old Lurt and Eben in the center, the locks there. I'm keen to see how our lineouts look and how clinical we can be.
Yeah, I think obviously Franco Mostert as well as another lineout jumper. There's options there, which is very cool. For me, and the weird thing for me with last week is that Marvin Orie is a quality operator when it comes to the lineouts, but I felt that Bongi just didn't quite seem to be on song, which is very, very weird.
He's supposed to be the guy.
Well, that was the thing. You go back 4 years ago, and Malcolm Marx was starting most games, and then was throwing terribly, and then they started saying, right, well, let's start Bongi and see if that still starts working, and all of a sudden that was sort of a set piece of it. So it was interesting to see that our most reliable line-out thrower was off the mark, but he is somebody who works very hard, and I'm not too worried about him this weekend. Rian, let's talk a little bit about that loose trio. Two former Lions boys in there. So, Kwagga Smith playing against the side where he just always seems to play well. He even said himself, he loves playing against the All Blacks. Franco Mostert at number 7. And then Jasper Wiese, the wrecking ball. It's an exciting loose trio, but it's a very different loose trio, I suppose, what we used to.
Yeah, no, I've heard a few people say that why is Franco Mostert there? People forget to put respect on his name. I don't know why we wouldn't pick him. He's one of the most best tacklers in our team, and he makes 20 tackles a game with a smile on his face. Obviously, Kwagga, speed, I think he's there almost as a matchup for Artie Sevilla. He might not be as strong, but he's faster. He also fights in the tackle. He's excellent at ripping balls. So if you go in high, carrying on him, he often rips the ball out of the hand. So I'm very happy with those two guys there. And then Wiese, he's the biggest ball carrier in Europe, basically. Maybe only Gregory Aldrich carries more than him. So I'm very excited to see a South African scrum, nice and stable, and then Wiese picking it up off the back and just going. I've been watching him play for the Leicester Tigers. He's actually picked up a little bit of speed in the last few months. He's actually gotten faster, and he's been offloading as well, which is very nice to see. So I'm keen to see if they bring, like the team here in South Africa did at Loftus, if they all bring something a little different, because we all think that this is the dense, the heavy box side that's there to kill you with physicality. But I'm hoping to see a little bit of finesse as well. Maybe a little offload from Wiese or Kwagga getting the ball a bit wider out, just to see if we can put some doubt in the minds of the New Zealanders.
Yeah, I think that was for me was something quite interesting about last week, is that we did see a lot of offloading from our forwards. I think it was built up to one of the Orange tries, but Marvin Orie, loose ball on the floor, he got there early, and his immediate thought was to try and offload it. A bit of a stillness sort of thing coming through. Where I think 2 years ago, your immediate sort of thought as a block player would have been, right, I need to dive on this ball, I need to secure this ball, we'll reset, what do we do? But, we don't really play in broken play. So that's a bit of a shift of an attitude there. So, that's the pack, and it is a frighteningly good pack. I'm very excited to see exactly what it can do. Halfback pairing. So Faf de Klerk starts. Chris, we're gonna throw it to you because there's some Faf de Klerk disrespect in the well, not Faf de Klerk disrespect, but rather some Kubus Reinach fangirl. Yeah, I'd say there. But the halfback pairing, Faf de Klerk and
this man and his Kobus Reinach love, please.
So Chris, what's your take on the halfback pairing?
No, yeah, just personal opinion, guys. Just personal opinion. I feel Reinach has got more to offer as a scrum half than Faf, but Faf obviously suits the game plan what the coaches want perfectly. And I'm not disrespecting Faf's done his job. He's done well. I think if I wasn't the head coach, probably I would have been picking right. But that's just me. But no, but Faf's great. Yeah, obviously Faf's played a lot of his rugby with old obviously Pollard. So Willems is a different ball games. I'm quite interested to see how this combination goes. I'm very, very keen to see Willems to go at 10. I love Willems. I've actually been still think he will be good at 12 with like a Lebok type of play inside him because those guys feed off each other, that type of style. You can see it. It's organic. It's an instinct. And
that's next year's problem.
Yeah, I'll be interested.
Yeah.
That's 2027 combination.
Yeah, but it's going to be high pressure. It's going to be interesting because, Willems parts in the early part of his career did struggle. We saw him struggle under pressure and for Stormers and so on. So I think it's quite hectic that we chucked him at 10 for this game. At fullback, 12, where he's done really well. But this is going to be interesting. Good to see it. I don't know how it's going to go. That's why I'm not overly confident about the Boks this weekend just because it is New Zealand away. And that is an interesting combination. And going back to the forwards, I know we didn't touch on it, but it'll be interesting to see where best space is because he hasn't played for a long time. His father passed away this week, so I wonder where his head is at. It'd be interesting. But I think I love Willems. He's the future. If they're thinking of him 10 long term, then this is fine to put him in there. That's why not give him a go. He's played enough. He's good enough, and I hope he goes well.
Yeah,
just
well, I think, and we'll chat about that now, I think the biggest thing for me and this Willems at 10 at the end of last year and then this weekend, I think it's we all know now, I mean, Andre Pollard comes back in August and he'll start every game of the World Cup, bar maybe one. Maybe that Romanian game, but I mean, you can't really afford to take too many games for granted. So, I mean, Wes, how much do you think that this weekend? Obviously, this is the game that we want to win every single year. If there's one game you want to win, you want to beat the All Blacks, especially in New Zealand for us, which we actually haven't lost since 17, I think it was, which is quite cool. But do you think that this game is a case of, right, well, Damian Willems at this rate, we saw how important rivalry is. It will likely be on the bench come the World Cup in that 6-2 split, covering in the France stadium role, covering 10, 12, 15, even a better wing. So do you think this is the case of, right, well, we've got to put him at 10 because if Pollard goes down 10 minutes into the World Cup final, Willems is going to be running at 10, type of situation. So how much do you think that comes into it?
Yeah, no, I'm 100% there with you, Steve. Like, I think, as you said, as much as we want to win this game, because it's New Zealand, it's in New Zealand. If I offered you winning this game or winning the World Cup game in a quarter or semi or final against New Zealand, I think we're going to pick the World Cup game. So we need to give ourselves the best chance at winning that game down the road. And if that means starting Damian to blood him a bit, to get him used to that All Black intensity at 10 in case, give him the intensity of it all. Let him feel that now. I mean, even if we lose, like, again, I hope we don't lose. It's a tough ask for us to win that side, but even if we lose and he gains that experience so that he can come in, should something happen, unfortunately, to Pollard or whatever in the World Cup, I think that's a trade I'm happy to make.
And so obviously there's a lot of people talking. Recency bias has definitely come into in the last week with regards to certain people saying that certain players should be starting. Miley Buck not involved, is not starting, or a lot of people would have liked to have seen. I mean, this Bob coaching staff don't.
Where does that come from? I thought everyone thought he was useless. He can't be a Springbok. Now it's like, why is he not starting?
That was a month ago, Rion. How you get with the times, Same thing as Marco van Staden, who even a week ago everybody said shouldn't be starting, shouldn't be in the box squad. Now it's, well, how is he starting ahead of
Marcus Smith? Was starting there. Now he's like.
But with how much? I mean, do you think that Liebach's got a chance of making that final Springbok 23 when you go to the World Cup, or do you think that we've pretty much got it nailed on 23? I think it's pretty close to the current 23 that we've got for Saturday. once obviously a couple like your Pollards, Khaleesi's, a couple of players will come in. But do you think Levi's got a chance to get to that 23, or do you think he's going to go to the World Cup and kind of be that Alton Yankees role where he might play one or two of the pool games, but come playoffs, if everyone's fit, won't feature?
It's so tough to say. Let's go along the lines of everyone's fit, right? So there's no injuries that he has to come in. So if we're going down that route, I think he has to go with, and he has to hopefully get a taste in some games. He might not feature majorly, again, if everyone's fit. But for me, it's long term. You can't keep thinking, about short term and this World Cup. We've got to start thinking about the next sort of journey. And if he can start to get that BMT, that big match temperament, I've played in some. Okay, I haven't played in the World Cup sort of level competitions, but played in big enough competitions where you saw the guys who came in their first time just be wide-eyed. There's a lot going on, and I can imagine it is 1,000-fold, for the World Cup, even for professionals. It is a Rugby World Cup, and is the highest you can do. So if we just give that little bit of exposure, and he can get there, and he can start to feel a bit more comfortable, then later down the line, we're going to reap the rewards of that. So for this World Cup, I mean, it'd be exciting to see him on the field. But again, we want to give ourselves the best chance to win now and later. And maybe it's a bit of a combination of playing him some and then, maybe not so much.
I think what would be interesting is and touch where it doesn't happen, if, for example, a Pollard were to go down during the World Cup, which unfortunately could be a reality. He's not somebody who hasn't had his injury issues in the last 4 years. What would be interesting is if he were to be ruled out and say an Alton Yankees comes into the squad, how much trust would they have? And obviously it'll depend on what he does in the next few games. Do they have any in the World Cup? Because we have sometimes seen this coaching staff go, right, well, we know what, we've got to go back to try and test it. So it'll be interesting, if an Alton Yankees were to come into the squad in a World Cup situation where they suddenly go, shit, well, that guy's played in the World Cup, he's played in British and Irish Lions, we know what he can do. Yes, he's not the forward player. Yes, in theory, Leibach's ahead of him, but crunch situation, who do they go with? I think that for me would be a very interesting scenario, which hopefully we won't have to find out about. But
Steve, can I? Yeah. Sorry, when you can. Just to Leibach. I mean, I mentioned earlier in the show, the last 2.5 halves of rugby this guy's played, the Springboks have been very good. Let's be honest. They've been on the front foot. He's let them play with abandon. He's letting the guys. I'm not saying that he's the right option, but what concerns me is if we go back into our shoal in a quarterfinal or semi, and it is Pollard, we're going to have another one kick game against Wales. And this much feels like there's more room for error. I know his kick is not as strong as Pollard, but I just feel that Leibach's the right cog for the players that we have. But I know we're going to go back to basically the team that won the World Cup last year. So we have to bear that in mind. It's just, I think what the whole thing is this is just throwing a spanner in the works, because if you think about it, they probably had Willemse as the backup to Pollard all along. We had Yankees then the third choice, but now we've lost Yankees falling off the cliff on form, and we've lost Frans Steyn. Probably Steyn was also the cover. So now we got Leibach, probably the form fly-up in the country, and Willems has kind of fallen down the ranks of 10. So it's put the guys in a bit of a dilemma. But I've got the feeling at the moment, what I've seen from the squad, and what I've seen from the coach and stuff, I actually don't mind whoever is on the park at any point in time. I trust the players and I trust the coach and stuff. I trust whatever it always looks like we now have a plan and we know what we're doing. The players know what they're doing. So if it's Pollard, Willemse, Leibach, I'm going to back the boys to do what they've been asked to do. I just wonder, against Australia, it looked like there was a little bit of a nothing to lose attitude there as well, right? They were trying things. I wonder if they were given that license. It didn't look like they were told to. It didn't look like let's scrum more, line up, boom. It looked like they were told, have a go, guys, and enjoy yourselves, and they certainly did.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get quite the same freedom this weekend.
No, I don't. That's what I'm saying.
And we shouldn't give them the same sort of freedom this weekend, because you turn over a ball in a dangerous position, and this All Black side, especially the one that's been named, which is a very good side, will punish them. Speaking of people are very getting a bit edgy with, Andre Esterhuizen comes in and has an absolute blinder on in the centres, and all of a sudden people are now questioning Damien Delendi, which for me is it blows my mind when you think of how good this guy's been for how many years. For me, I don't understand why we can't go, what cheapest? Andre Esterhuizen was unbelievable. That means our second choice inside centre is unbelievable, but our first choice, Dukes, and back in the combination there, surely there's no pressure on Delendi at the moment.
No, there's none. What has he done wrong? He's done nothing wrong.
He didn't
Man
play
is
against
still great.
Australia.
Just
That's what he
because
done
Andre
wrong.
Esterhuizen is playing well. Yeah. Andre Esterhuizen is good. We're happy. It's good to see we have a man who can distribute, who can run over people, who can kick. Dukes can do all of that as well. So, and he's just as good at it, if not better. So, no, I don't think there should be pressure on him. Obviously, if he plays badly, then we can start having the conversation. But I'm happy. I'm happy with the Islanders staying there. He's played well for the last 4 years. He's one of our most consistent bocks. He's always picked. He's great over the ball as well. I haven't seen Andre Esterhuizen do a lot of steals. With the Islander, you can have him run in the tram lines if you're going wide to wide quickly, and he can clear a ruck for you.
He's basically a flank.
Your loose forward can't get there.
Yeah, I mean, he's like having an extra flank in the back line.
Yeah. So just keep him. I'm happy with him. Andre Esterhuizen is a good backup to have, but sometimes you just can't fit everyone into the team. That's when you get things like Muanga, Barrett, D-Mac. How do we get them all into the team at the same time? Sometimes you just got to be like, sorry, man. We have someone already. Just hope he goes down, and that's just what you got to live with.
And Dear Lender has been one of the players that I mean, in the beginning he was very raw, but he's only been on like this upward trajectory. He's just getting like a fine wine. I think I was questioning whether he should be, but he's actually improved year on year on year. He's at his peak. He's at his prime. He needs to be the anchor in there. Especially
and when he's angry, last year when we played our second test against Australia, he was angry and he was like the catalyst for us to hammer them in Australia. So no, he's got to be there and try and get him angry as well, and we'll be doing well. We'll be golden.
Yeah. Now speaking of somebody who I think is under pressure, and funny enough, we spoke about it a week ago, was good on the Pimps, and you got to feel sorry for the guy. He's got one of the most prolific try scoring records. Not only in like Springbok history, but like in Test history. Like his try to game ratio is mental. But a week ago we talked about the fact that he was catching this unnecessary slander because obviously the form that Curtly Arendse is in. And we said that, at the end of the day, it's Mapimpi's jersey, until he starts playing badly in it, it's his jersey. And then Curtly Arendse decides to go and score a hat-trick. Whether it's fair or not, I think Mapimpi must sort of feel that he knows he has to perform because there is a very capable replacement who is actually currently got a better try scoring record than him and is itching to try and take that jersey away from him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's definitely a bit of heat coming from behind him, which is rare to hear with a name like Mapimpi there and the speed he brings. But absolutely, I think this is a great problem to have. What we're discussing as well. As Rian was saying, you can't fit all the Oaks in the team at once. I mean, I'd much rather be stuck with this, spoiled for choice, where you've got guys chomping at the bit, sort of putting pressure on the guys who's in the team to perform. What you'll find is maybe some of that pressure can manifest a bit negatively. Oaks sort of get into their heads and they fall out. But we hope that doesn't happen, obviously. But it sort of weeds out the strongest players. And I think a name like Mapimpi, who's been to the big dance, who's probably had this pressure before, there've been guys who've maybe come for that spot before. He, as an athlete, as a what's the word I'm looking for, as like a competitive person, will see that as a challenge and hopefully rise to it, and we'll just even get more Mapimpi, which we can hope for.
Yeah, I do think that is kind of
more Mapimpi.
Yeah, and he is someone that's had to overcome obstacle over obstacle. I mean, I watched him for the first time down when he scored that hat-trick against the Sharks when he was playing for the EP Kings. Before then, he was actually playing for the Border Bulldogs, which is really sort of shows.
We lost Steve. It was a my connection.
Well, I think everybody else is here. You're still hearing us, Chris.
Is it me? It's me. Okay, it's me. Sorry.
The problem is you.
Yeah, I've lost. I'm the problem as usual. Yeah, I saw it was so weird. Wesley left and you left something, and I see myself move. So
take the hint, Chris. Take the hint. Well, Chris, I'll go to you now. So let's talk about the game, and we can bring the sort of the bomb spot into it. New Zealand have named a couple of big players back into their side. Brody Metallic has returned. Richie Moanga has come into the number 10. No D-Mac. Big call. An interesting bench to Marty Williams, 140 kg plus prop coming on to make his debut. Samasoi Takawau named on the bench. It does look like it's a team that has been very specifically picked to play against the Springboks. How do you think how much do you think they can nullify the Bok game plan, and are we going to cope with what they've named?
Yeah, I think physically, yeah, I don't. Yeah, so Takioka, when he came in that Ellis Park game last year, was a big difference for them, and I think he will do the same. I'm surprised he's not starting, to be honest. I think he might come on sooner than later if they are struggling. But you're right, they picked it's their strongs at home. I think I think they're gonna come and play their game. To be honest, I don't think. I think the game's gonna be tight. If you're gonna ask me how it's gonna go, we've picked a team that's gonna play tight. Maybe we probably might surprise them with a pass or whatever when they're not expecting it. But I think generally this is going to be another All Black Springbok humdinger, not more than 40, 45 points. And I think that's how it's going to go. I think this is probably their strongest team for the way they want to play against us. And it's not weak. I would never say it's a weak New Zealand team. I think also that like these smaller grounds that we go to, we don't often actually do well as well. So I think it's going to be great. It's going to be. I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be as easy for us as maybe some people are thinking with the recency bias. But just I can't wait for it.
And then Rion, no DMAC, which is an interesting call given last week. Geordie Barrett at 12. There's no. I mean, Mark Taylor coming 2 new wings, and Mark Taylor coming into starting up. Will Jordan not at 15 at 14. I mean, that New Zealand backline is still pretty scary.
Yeah, I think it was a fair trade for us dropping Kirtley, that they would drop DMAC. You can't, we can't drop Kirtley and then they keep him. So that's a good trade. I'd take it. But it's weird. I mean, they've got Caleb Clark on the bench. Why would you have a strict winger on the bench?
Out and out winger. And especially, it's not like Caleb Clark is a good player, but he's not. He's very direct. He's very physical. He kind of is what he is. It's not like he's a very
unless they're going to spring a surprise on us, and maybe they'll spring a surprise, and all of a sudden Clark comes on at 12 or 13. He's had this in his pocket the whole time. But I don't understand why you would have Clark as a replacement. But that backline, as always, is quite scary. Beauden Barrett just loves beating the Springboks. I wish that man would just go away already. But my thing that I'm always scared of is their pack. I saw last week Jason Ryan is their new forwards coach, the guy who was under Scott Robertson. And you can just see this forward pack. There's something about a New Zealand forward pack that plays well. Their body position is lower. Their shoulders are together when they go into rucks. Latches are just a little bit better latched, more accurate. They're cleaning at the rucks, more accurate. So that's my biggest fear is these guys. They've got a coach who can get their forward pack to work hard, and so we're going to have to be very, very accurate to stop that. And then if the ball goes out wide, we just got to hope. Had a bit of a slow game last week. They got outside him a couple times. I hope he's on the ball because he's the guy that our defense hinges on. If he's on song, the All Blacks struggle to get the ball out. So for me, that's a 2-1. Nullify their pack, and it's all on you, man. I hope you're in a good space on Saturday.
Well, a lot of people thought that Jesse Creel was going to be playing, and a lot of people seem to be relieved that he wasn't. Not that I actually wouldn't have minded Jesse Creel on Saturday. Simply as you talk about the defensive point of view, I think Jesse Creel is a brilliant defender. But before we go to the betting segment and let Chris tell us how he's going to win us all the money this weekend, Argentina versus Australia. I mean, the two teams that have to bounce back. Where's Oslo at home? It's a couple of big changes. It's a very strange bench. It's a very different bench to what we saw last week. Richie Arnold, Will Skelton completing what could be the biggest lock pairing ever. And a very new look loose trio as well with Fraser McWright and Jed Holloway. What do you make of Eddie's changes? And do you think it's going to be enough to try and inspire you can't get much worse, but a better performance?
Yeah, no, as you said, some interesting changes, but he's got to try something, right? And again, as we said, it was Eddie's first try and a tough opposition against the Boks, and now he's got Argentina, who can also be tough if they decide to show up, which they have been over the last couple of games. I think it's a big call I'm about to make, but I think if Australia want to have a good World Cup, they have to win this game because they're at home. It's against what would traditionally be a weaker side. I'm saying traditionally. I'm not saying Argentina's are. We know they've gotten better. But from a mentality, confidence point of view, if the Wallabies struggle to get a confident win performance at home against this side, I think it's going to be a tough ask for them in the World Cup.
Yeah, and then Chris, Argentina, what do they need to do better? It's Argentina. They're such a strange side because, as I said, they can have moments of absolute brilliance and then moment of absolute. I mean, they can go from tier 1 top nation to tier 2, tier 3 nation very quickly.
Yeah. Well, they've got to bring that fire, that Pablo Matera fire when they would get themselves up against, when they were beating the All Blacks, giving those All Blacks those runs in those games. They have beaten Australia. They hammered Australia last time, didn't they, in Argentina? That was a shocking game for us to watch as well. But I'm also on Wes' side. I'm going to stick my neck out here as well. We are going to see an Australian comeback. There has to be. There will be. They'll be prepared. They'll be ready. And if they are, I think the team selections are right. I was one when I looked at Australia last week and saw Reece Hodge in the middle. I laughed. I was like, "Are you joking?" And Vunivalu is too raw. I think he's got the right selections this week, and I think Oz are going to be prepared. Argentina are going to be fighting, but at home they're not playing. They're playing in that NRL stadium as well. Sometimes those pitches can be slow, which will suit Argentina. You got Piper on the whistle, so I think the game's going to open up. Like Argentina, they have to bring for Argentina to win. They have to bring you into a dogfight, and I don't see that happen. I think Australia are going to give it some air, good weather, fast pitch, paper. So I think Argies are going to probably bat. I'm going to stick my neck out. Argies are going to battle a bit. It might be close for 60, 70 minutes, but I think Australia will be okay winners.
Look, at the end of the day, with there's no Marcus Kramer, there's no part. I mean, that guy's one of those players. Whenever Argentina have those blinders against New Zealand, it's like him or Pablo Matera and one of them that just have an absolute silly game where they're calling like 45 tackles. But
in those games when they did well against New Zealand, sorry quickly, Steve, it was raining now because I was remember these games clearly. It was raining, so it suited RG to get into the boxing match, and I just don't see those conditions happening on Australia, and they've just got Australia at a bad spot because Australia will respond. I think with that, I think Eddie Jones will have them ready, and I think it's going to be a tough game for the RGs.
Yeah, well, speaking of the Argentina, it's as you said, they should be doing a game before the Rugby Championship. As Michael Cheika right now, do you think he's sitting there going, we've got to win this weekend, we've got to try and give the Boks a real go, or do you think he's sitting there saying, I know that we have got a pool that suits us come the World Cup where we can get ourselves quite far, quite easily, compared to a New Zealand, France, Ireland, South Africa, for example. So do you think that he is going to be worried right now with where his team is at, or do you think he's treating this as a genuine? The Rugby Championship itself could even be the pre-season Rugby World Cup game, warm-up games could then be the sort of fine tuning and goes into the World Cup. How much do you think he cares about the results right now compared to having a real go come the World Cup?
I think he doesn't not give a single shit about the current games. He's still resting guys who play in France. All his most of his best players are still not playing. Eddie's already playing Skelton and he's flogging Arnold as well. But the RG guys who played in finals, they haven't stepped into the team yet. So it's obvious that Cheika is thinking about the World Cup. I'm sure he would love to do well. I think they will do well this weekend. They won't win. Australia, they really struggle to beat them there. But I don't think they are seeing they seeing this championship as a proper, we build cohesion, we start getting combinations together. And if we lose, we lose. We just need to start building combinations and then just try and survive until Kremer's back, because he's got a few more weeks left on his ban before he's back. But with him out, they'll at least be able to see some other guys behind Kremer that can do some combinations. But they've got Matera, they've got Gonzalez playing at 8 this week, so they're obviously going for some speed. And then just try and keep Lavanini from getting a red card as well. They can't have two guys banned.
Don't ask too much.
Yeah, but there must be a certain amount of Eddie Jones going, listen, Lavanini, I know you're going to get a red this year. So if you're going to get one, you actually kind of need to do it like now so that you're back for the World Cup. You can't afford to go to the World Cup. This is your last week. Yeah, come on, go. He's going to see that first headbutt in the first minute and be like, okay, cool, well done. Now we'll see you in France. You can go straight there and start scouting out. You're making a very good point.
And they need to find props. They have no props. Yeah. They have one front line of props. One of them's like 37, and then behind that, there's nothing. So
that's
I think what they're
Cordella coming in this weekend. I mean, I just see how he goes. I'm a big Bello fan. I think that I really enjoy watching. But look, I thought Lucio Tordoni played well in a losing cause last week. One of the few people who kind of looked at, and Thomas Gallo.
Gallo is always good. I love
Yeah,
him.
he's a very. I mean, I'm very surprised he hasn't moved from Benetton to a top side. I think he could be really good. But there are obviously a couple, as you mentioned, quite a few players that they still do have missing, and very keen to see what they'll look like when all those sort of players do get back.
Especially their centre pairing. They thrive with a good centre pairing, and those guys are still resting.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's still, for example, I mean, there's no Cordero, there's no Juan Imor, for example, this weekend. Yeah, they are missing Nacho Cabarez, who's a really fun player to watch. So yeah, a lot of players missing. But the nice thing about Argentina, as I say, I think that they've got a draw that really suits them, and a lot of them are, as I think Chris said earlier, Argentina is everyone's second team. We all know what they can do when they get going. That we've been talking about, based on last weekend, based on not a lot of information, to be really brutally honest, given how last weekend's games went. This is what you got for us for this weekend. It is the first time we've actually got a Betty segment since I think we said the 25th of May was the last time we did this. Now, before you get into this, everybody, these odds are on Boyle Sports. They have just launched in South Africa, and it's actually Chris's main market that he uses over there in the UK. So they are new to the SAFA shores. So we'd really like you to go and give them their support. If you go and check out in the description, I'm going to put in the chat as well. Go and get sign up for an account. And Chris, we've got a decent season record. I don't know if you can even remember that last recap of who was playing. I think the URC was still going on back then. And then what have you got for us this weekend?
Yeah, so on the Twitter, like you say, I haven't put in the individual games. I've just given a recap on the bets that we did make, and it was a good weekend. As you can see, we are up 4.5 units, so it was actually a really nice weekend for us, mainly because we had this multi, 9-8-1 multi that came in, only half a unit on there. But yeah, that was a big winner, our biggest win to date for sure. And I was just looking back, we've done this 11 weeks. We've had, even though it's been a small win, some small winning weeks, we're on a 10 out of 11 winning week run on this, doing this with you guys. So yeah, as you can see, obviously the season record, we're up to a nice 14.75 units. Return on invest, very healthy, 67%. Yeah, as I said, I'm really stoked with that. That, I'll be honest, transparency, that's my best record with it, or other records that I've got going and tracking. So you're doing well, yeah.
Luck here, people. Stick with us. Stick with us.
And the thing is, I was saying, like, the bets that I come up on Thursday are not always the bets I personally make of the weekend, and I feel I'm limited, but maybe because I've invested so much time for you guys and everyone out there, I've come up with obviously it's come out all right, But yeah. So I'm gonna go. We could just double. It's only the two games. It's 1.5 units. It's obviously not. I'm not overly confident, and I'll tell you why. It is actually the South African game I'm worried about. If I was a bit more confident on the books, I would make this a 3 or 4 unit play. But I'm just gonna say I didn't say it, but we have seen this all before. I think we've hammered Australia or someone many times before, gone to New Zealand and got our asses absolutely stuffed. So we've been here before. So I'm not jumping in. I'm not jumping in and saying we're winning. But the thing is just that everyone who understands betting, the line handicap, which we spoke about, actually opened at about 11 or 12, which is very interesting. The bookies had the New Zealand very big favorites. So this is a lower odds. It's down to 7 now. So money certainly came for it. And that was certainly the wrong handicap. If you bet, plus 10 is still solid, but the value has gone. And that's why we've put it in a double. So yeah, put South Africa plus 10 on the handicap. So if Australia win by 10, we still win because we got that half point in the bag. And then yeah, as you guys heard, I like Australia, quite confident in Australia. So we'll just put that in the double. The handicap's also 7. I think Australia win probably by between 8 and 12. But let's just stay safe on Australia win, because if RGs bring them into a dogfight, it could be a 3-point game at the end of it. So yeah, let's get back onto it. Just a nice little 1.5 unit play. If it comes in steady as she likes, we're moving into international season, which is one of my favorites, my successes. I love internationals. So we've got months of international rugby to bet on, which I'm excited for. So let's just keep building this bank balance with you guys. And yeah, I hope if you tail, good luck. And yeah, so that's where we are.
Cool. Thank you very much, Chris. Looking forward to getting our winning streak going on Boyle Sports now again. So as I said, please do go and check that link out. and go and show them the support. And also right now, before we sort of start wrapping up, a big thank you to Bitdefender, who's one of our channel partners. They are making it easier than ever for you to first of all keep yourself out against all the various cyber security issues that are going around the internet, which there's quite a few these days. So if you want to try and protect yourself from all these various things, go get yourself a Bitdefender subscription. More importantly, they've got a very cool VPN which can let you watch the match this weekend using a Stansport free trial. A video on the channel on how to do that and a link in the description. So yeah, please go and check out Bitdefender, go and support Boyle Sports because it's through their support that we can bring you guys all the various coverage. And always go and check out Chris on Twitter at the Crow Tips. He's got I'm sure. Well, I'm not too much rugby this weekend, but I'm sure there'll be a couple of extra ones that will come up. Are you looking at the under-20s tomorrow and putting a bit of money down there?
No, to be honest, I haven't had the time with my move and everything to be best looking to follow. I haven't followed in the 20s. I saw the pig styles of the mud bath. I haven't got into it. South African team hasn't been strong, so that I have had any focus. I'll be honest, I was using Polish bookmakers for a while, and they weren't offering it, so I haven't been involved. And so no, I'll maybe follow now these games this weekend, but no idea of who's going to do what.
Fair enough. Well, we do have the Summer Nation series that they've now officially branded coming up in August, and there is, to think that we're all gearing up for a hectic World Cup. I mean, that Summer Nation series is almost as hectic. It's going to be a lot of fun coming up in August. So we'll have plenty to talk about there and then. Yeah. Right. So in terms of, before we go to our final predictions, stuff like that, in terms of what's going to happen this weekend, it's going to be a lot of fun. So on Saturday, obviously we're going to go live nice and early. We're going to have a pre-game show. That'll go live at 8 o'clock SAST. Wes will be with Reza and their cups of coffee, taking you guys through the game. I cannot confirm nor deny whether there will be a bit of brandy in the coffee. That is up to them. I would guess that there might be, especially in the case of Reza, who's not here to defend himself. Those two will also be with you for the halftime show as well as for fan camps afterwards. I'll be with you guys for the watch-along. We'll also be live for Australia versus Argentina, which should be quite a fun game. And then a very weird day because the rugby sort of finished at Hoppers 1 and so our coverage will pretty much finish at 2, and then I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with myself for the free Saturday afternoon. So we'll have to find a way to keep ourselves busy. Right, chaps, cock on the block stuff now. I want predictions, and I want people to go bold. Not as bold as I went last week, where I said on Super Brew that Argentina would win, and
you're already behind.
Yeah, no. So that's why I don't do Super Brew. Like I can't do it. It's as soon as I put something down, you might as well just put betting the opposite, to be honest. But we'll start sort of. Let's go left to right. I want a prediction for each game. I want a score line. Doesn't have to by 7 or you can give exact scores if you're feeling confident.
Right, I'm gonna go. Not gonna go too exact, but I'm gonna say we'll start with the Box and All Blacks. I'm gonna say the Box win it by 4. So I'm going for a Box win in New Zealand, but I think it's going to be a tightly contested match. And then for Australia, Argentina, I'm going to say the Aussies win by at least 12. At least 12.
At least 12. Okay. Right, Chris, are you backing the shout?
Not people aren't gonna be fans, but I'm going New Zealand by 2, and Australia by 10.
This is what happens when they emigrate. The loyalty just goes out the window. Right. So
I don't know. I hope we win, but let's see. I think we're gonna run into a big New Zealand war. So let's see how we go.
Look, I don't think a loss will be the end of the world, to be honest. Any loss we learn a few lessons is good for us. But
I think just to add as well, like you said, I think this Book team, like previously, there was things we almost felt like inevitably we would lose in New Zealand. What I feel now, though, this Book doesn't fear this New Zealand team, and that's awesome. I think we do genuinely believe we are maybe on their level or better. I think you can see it in the players, and I hope so. But you just know when it gets tight, man, these things are going to be decided on. Something dodgy might decide this game, and so I'm going to just say New Zealand by 2. But I hope
careful your comments, because Johnny Sexton's been in a hearing all day about his comments to the referees, so we hate to have to subject you to a similar process.
Well, it's rain out on the ref, and you remember the Aussie New Zealand game?
Yeah,
who knows if he's going to pull something out again like that. So let's see.
Can I change my answer now? Can I
No, you put it. You had your time. You had the opportunity. Now, real with all that information that you've now been fed, what are you going with now?
Okay, I'll say Aussie and Argentina first. Australia win there. I think they'll probably pull away at the end of the match. So probably 10 points to the Aussies there. And then South Africa versus New Zealand. Let's say a draw. 18-all draw.
Ooh, I like
Yes.
it. I like it. We did draw the last
Yeah.
time.
Yes, I love
I think
it.
we won't be able to split these two teams. They'll forget there's a World Cup at the end of the year and they'll play each other off the park and we'll all be kissing our sisters at the end. 18 points.
You know, literally every single time I see a draw, I can't even remember exactly who it was, but it was a Super Rugby game, and I think it was a New Zealander who said on live TV, "Yeah, a draw is like kissing your sister. It's not great, but you'll take it." You're sitting there going, "Dude, there's no ways you just said that to the world."
No, you won't.
Come on, man. So Riyadh's going with a draw. Okay, so I'm going to go box by. I'm gonna go box by 7. I think we.
Ooh, big calls.
Yeah, look at, you know what? I'm gonna go ballsy. And
imagine. I'd love it.
I'm gonna go odds by. I'm gonna go odds by 4. I think Argentina could stay in the fight. I think Montoya might have taken last week's very personally. And him and Pablo Mateo, they decided to pitch up then. Then they could get going. Also, I'm still not convinced about the whole Will Skelton Richie Arnold hype because I've yet to see Will Skelton play well in a Wallabies shirt. So until they can get that pack firing to what that pack can do, I also think that Oz bench is rubbish. Not rubbish, but it's very new.
It's a weird bench.
It's a very weird bench. So I do think that if Argentina can keep themselves in the game, don't I like to see a young Nicolas Sanchez masterclass off the bench, roll back the years. And get the Argentinians nice and close. Right, people, thank you very much for joining us. Rion and Chris, enjoy Saturday. Wes, we will see you on Saturday morning.
Can't wait, man.
And to everybody else in the comments, thank you very much for jumping in. We actually had we have a lot more viewers than usual, so it's going to see that we're all picking up for international season. We will be back once again next week. If you are just tuning in now, this will be available obviously on the channel as well as a podcast on all your favorite streaming platforms, so go and check us out. Thank you very much. Please do smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. We are like less than 100 people away from 31,000 subscribers, so go and get that done.
Nice.
And we will see everybody this weekend. The captain's press conference will come out tomorrow, which will in theory be Evan Etzebeth. So at this stage we have had it confirmed, well, not confirmed, but he hasn't announced that he is leaving, so we'll have final confirmation of that. And tomorrow we'll be able to get a bit of an insight as to where he is. And as we've been saying during the week, thoughts do go out to him and his family, as well as the family of Costa, who also tragically lost his life this week. So it's not been a happy week in the South African rugby community, but hopefully if there's anything that brings a country together, it is a Bok win. Bok Fridays are also back, by the way, tomorrow, everybody, in case you didn't see the announcement. So get your Bok shirts out for tomorrow.
You know, I've got my jersey. You know, I've got mine.
Yeah, but the thing is, so if you wear that tomorrow, what are you wearing on Saturday? You know, you got to get another jersey now.
I've got 4 Springbok jerseys, so don't you worry about that.
Yeah, I've got like 5. I only spent about 2
I've got
these
a Springbok
days.
mug as well, so don't worry about it.
Fair enough. Right, cool. Thanks, everybody. Please do keep warm if you're in South Africa. If you're in the UK, put on your sunscreen. And if you're in Botswana like Wes, well, enjoy stuff like that. People, thank you very much, and we'll see you guys all next time. Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. For today's guide, how to watch the Wallabies take on the Pumas this weekend. Both teams suffering bonus point losses last weekend, and both teams putting in really, really bad performances. I think Argentina probably the happier of the two teams because of the second half they did manage to put together. Australia, very few positives they'll take out of that Springbok game. But the question is, which team will bounce back? Will it be Argentina away in Australia, or will Australia playing at home be able to sort of turn things around under Eddie Jones and start taking steps forward ahead of the World Cup? We'll find out this weekend. And before I show you exactly how to watch the action, please do subscribe to the channel. Please do smash like on the video as well. Now, usually all the Australian games are on 9 now, which is a free-to-air broadcaster. But it wasn't this weekend, so we wait and find out if this will be the case this coming weekend. But what it is definitely going to be on is on Stan Sport, which has a 7-day free trial, which means that if you're in Australia, you can access that 7-day free trial and watch it for free. But if you're outside of Australia, you can still watch it on the free trial, but you're going to have to use something called a VPN, which is a virtual private network. Basically, what it does is it locates your device to make it seem as if you are in Australia. So, for example, if you go to Stansport right now and I'm currently outside Australia and you try and access it, this is what happens. The code and you actually can't log in. But you do the use of a VPN, and we're going to use Bitdefender, who are one of our channel partners. They provide world-leading cybersecurity, and it really works well for VPN as a VPN as well. So as you can see over there, this is what it looks like. So link in the description. You're going to go and check it out. Go and get yourself Bitdefender. And at the moment, we are not currently connected, so we're going to turn it on over there. Over here is where you go and choose all your locations. So over here, you can go and choose. They've got 53 locations there. And right now, we are currently secured, which means I'm now going to go and refresh that Stansport page. And because we are now connected to Bitdefender's VPN, what that has done is it's busy geolocating my computer to make it seem as if I'm in Australia, and as a result, I can access Stansport and I can get that 7-day free trial, which I've already done. I've already done all the sign up and stuff like that, and I'm currently logging in. And we are going to watch what's on at the moment. We're probably going to watch a bit of Wimbledon, I think, once this eventually loads. And it's literally as easy as that. So get yourself a VPN, get yourself Bitdefender is what we recommend. Over here it is busy fetching the feed. And you can watch all the action. You'll also be able to use this method to watch South Africa versus New Zealand, which is going to be an absolute cracker. There we go. That is Wimbledon that is currently happening. And you can watch this use this method for the entire Rugby Championship, actually. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. Apart from the step-by-step guide is in the description. Smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, obviously, there's disappointment whenever you don't get selected for a game, but I got some good, honest feedback from the coaches, and definitely what I needed, and worked really hard to get myself to a point where I could really push myself for selection. It's nice to get rewarded, but yeah, got to keep on pushing hard and work really hard on Saturday to retain that spot, because Tommy Hooper's a great young talent, and we're pushing each other each day. And you got Robbie Leota coming through, and all the guys on the Aussie A side, and that competitiveness is nice, but we're all fighting for that one spot, so we're all pushing each other.
And the corresponding fixture last year, you made your debut against Argentina. How much do you feel like you've grown throughout that period? Do you think you're better placed now off that back of years' experience to really give the shape of it?
Yeah, it's been a wild year. Yeah, it feels like yesterday, that debut over in Mendoza, and I was just talking to Josh Kemeny today about my experience that day and how I couldn't sit still. We had our own rooms, and I was constantly interchanging between boys' rooms because I just didn't want to sit by myself. And to now being able to give that advice to a guy like him, line out calling and stuff like that. So the growth has been great. It's definitely something that you really strive for as a player, is to get better. Don't get me wrong, there was definitely down points throughout the season and stuff like that, but yeah, it's taken a lot to make sure that I get back on track, and really happy to be here and kind of circle back. And I'll have 11 people in the crowd, my family, my 2 daughters, my wife and her family from America, who just flew in yesterday as well, so they're all coming to watch me play, so it's going to be awesome.
Awesome. And the Eddie Jones 6 that he wants, how does that differ to Dave, and what are the couple of things that Eddie's searching for?
Mate, to be honest, he's just physical. He wants a big, strong pack who's willing to run over people and front up in defence, and he's been brutally honest about that with every guy who's in our forward pack, really. Obviously smart around the set piece that I need to be in terms of what I bring individually, but what he wants from his forwards is be physical.
Neil, obviously no coaching staff wants to start a year like that against resulting in South Africa last week. What have you seen about the response from the players to really try and rectify that and sort of get the season off to the right track?
Yeah, the response has been outstanding. Like you said, it was disappointing, really disappointing, particularly from a forwards point of view. Jed alluded to a bit earlier, you know, it's an honest group, so we had a look at it. We're not going to hide from the things that didn't go well. So we've worked on those. You know, we talked about our scrum and our set piece defence, what we do from set piece, particularly for a forward pack, and then physicality at the game line. You know, those are the three things that stood out. They're always a work on. You know, we want this forward pack to be the best forward pack in the world. So those are things that there's been pretty close attention to this week.
Just on that physicality, it really seems to be the area that South Africa just got dominance for the full 80 minutes. What's been addressed, and what's the lessons out of that game that you can take into Argentina and into the World Cup this year?
It starts at set piece, so it's just like a domino effect. You know, if you don't minimum achieve parity, you're always going to be on the back foot. It's pretty hard against big men, you know, to recover that. So it starts phase one. We've got to do better phase one, and then, you know, Jed's already spoken about it. What the players have been talking about is being a lot more physical on the game line, because you're not always going to get what you want. There's going to be times where, you know, other sides do get on top, where they have a purple patch, and our response has got to be better.
Losing your co-captain Michael Hooper, I guess Fraser comes in as almost a like for like. What are you sort of saying about him? What can he add to this forward pack?
Yeah, he's a bloke that's willing to work. You know, obviously you can't replace Hooper's experience. You know, he's such a big personality around the squad and what he brings from a captaincy point of view. But there's an opportunity for other blokes to sort of, you know, for Samu Karevi, for other people, for Will Skelton, for people like Jed to come in their areas and make sure that we're not relying on one or two people. Fraser's been pretty similar. You know, he understands clearly what his role is, and he needs to do his job on Saturday. He's trained really well this week. He's been doing that all week in training, and we'll be looking forward to seeing a transfer on Saturday.
I guess on those injured players coming back in, your Angus Bells, your Rob Leotas, Matt Phillips, what do they add? Just, you know, the energy of getting those guys back into the group.
Yeah, they've obviously been with us probably for the last 4 weeks. So they've been in with us. They've had really good energy. You know, to get someone like Bally back will be great. You know, he had that stuttering start to the season in that first game. He's been with us literally since we arrived, or since I arrived. So he's had some extra sort of special care and attention. And he's again responded brilliantly. You know, he's going to be important for us off the bench, not only from a set piece point of view, but for carrying the ball as well.
Jed, how gutted are you for Michael Hooper to miss the test at home for him in Sydney, just given we don't know what the future holds for him?
Yeah, you know, I know it is one that he would have really loved to have, but he understands it's part of the game, injuries. You know, unfortunately, we're talking about it. The bad thing is about it is he's going to miss this game, but the good thing, you know, it's going to be a short turnaround before he gets back on the field, so it won't be his last test match. Let's hope, touch wood. But yeah, I'd know he would really love to be out here in front of his friends and family, to be playing in front of his home state, yeah, with all of us. So, but he's got those non-23 boys or non-25 boys working really hard, got them doing social events. So whenever he's not leading with us, he's leading somewhere else. So he's always doing something hoops and something to contribute to the team. So yeah, gutted for him, but you know, it's part of the game.
For you said you've got 11 friends and family here. What will that mean for you to have them in the crowd tomorrow night?
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be amazing. Like obviously in Argentina, no one got to see me play my debut. Mum and Dad and my wife and my sisters here have only really been to see me play. So just to have my wife's family especially come all the way from America. They might be a bit jet lagged, but so are we. Still come from South Africa, but yeah, it means a lot, and especially to play in front of my girls. My 2-year-old's really starting to understand it now, calling it footy ball, chasing me around, and wanting me to kick it with her. So yeah, it's going to be, you know, really emotional to play in front of all of them.
Neil, you mentioned you want the Wallabies to have the best forward pack in the world, but it's a pretty big test this weekend. Obviously, Argentina, Pablo Matera, Thomas Lamini, like this is a team who, you know, there's plenty of physicality about them. How highly do you rank them, I guess, in terms of forward pack around the world?
Yeah, pretty highly. You know, they, like us last week, they struggled a bit. So knowing a little bit about Michael Checker, I'm sure there'll be some bounce back there as well. So yeah, look, we're expecting them to come out and be very physical. I think they've done exceptionally well over the last 2 or 3 years on the back of how physical their forward pack's been, and even in the backs. You you know what you're getting. So yeah, it's going to be a great challenge to see it basically how both sides respond.
But you've got a pretty big boost this week, both literally and figuratively, Will Skelton and Richie Arnold in the second row. How helpful is it, to have two of the biggest locks in world rugby, I guess,
Yeah.
in your second row?
It's always helpful to have somebody like that side. Will Skelton at whatever he is, 7 foot and 145 kgs. So yeah, no, it's helpful, but we're not gonna do well as a forward pack with two blokes. I think where Will Skelton's been absolutely brilliant is the energy. Jed can talk about it. The energy, the enthusiasm that he's brought back. He's obviously had 2 or 3 brilliant seasons where he's probably been one of the standout forwards in Europe. His teams won sort of week after week, won 2 European Cups. So Richie's had similar experiences with Toulouse. So not only from a physicality point of view, but from a mindset, mentality that come from 2 winning environments. So they've been brilliant back into our group.
And Jed, you're coming up against Pablo Matera. He has to be one of the best blindside flankers in the world. For you, back in Wallaby Gold after about 8 months, coming up against him, how much of a challenge is that?
It's exciting, mate. It's really exciting. I actually played against Pablo in the Australian under-20s. It was funny. I was watching them play at the same field. I think it was against Ireland when it was the weather was exactly the same, and Pablo put on a clinic that day. But he's a competitor. He fires into everything. He's super skillful, and I got to match him in the areas that I'm good at. Set piece wise, ball carry, and physicality. We're different players, but as you said, he's world class. I'm excited to put myself to that standard.
And last one from me. You mentioned you're challenging that number 6 jersey alongside some other players, including Tom Hooper. What have you said to him? I guess throughout the last week, he came off after about half an hour on his debut. Have you shed any wisdom or had any words to him about we can do better or anything like that?
A little bit, but just I guess put an arm around him. Oh, mood lighting. Get an arm around him. Obviously, it was his debut. Disappointing loss. Coming off 30 minutes injured, he was quite devastated. But yeah, I made sure that he was in decent enough headspace because he's honestly he's a fiery competitor. He's going to be a great player. His attitude towards everything is just work. Continually wants to get better. So he was quite hard on himself. I was putting an arm around him, and in terms of me stepping up into the 6 jersey this week, he has constantly been asking me each day, what do you need, what do you need, what do you need? So I think that's a testament to the environment that we're building in here. We're all competing each day, but we want to make each other better. Whoever's selected in that jersey, we want what's best for the team.
What do you expect from Argentina?
We expect them to be physical. As Hat said, that any Michael Checker side who doesn't bring that physicality, they're going to cop a spraying or something in the sheds if they don't have that edge about them. So they're going to come. They're going to come with some tricks up their sleeves. But it's all going to be based around physicality and coming after us. Watching. If you're reviewing our game versus South Africa, that's if I was coaching a team, that's what I'd be saying. Try to dominate their set piece, dominate their scrum, get them on the back foot, and then opportunities are going to open up. So I dare say they're going to try to do the same thing, and we need to come ready to go and match them there. And raise above them.
You watch an evolution in the Pumas rugby since Michael Cheika is in the boss?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Every team check has been with, you see almost an immediate turnaround. He's unbelievable at bringing a team together. He's unbelievable at implementing style, and he's really good at, creating edge amongst the group. So I've been coached by Czech. I've been yelled at multiple times by Czech, and I know how much of a quality coach he is. So, yeah, they're going to come ready to go tomorrow, and so do we.
It's weird having him in front.
In front of
the other team.
The other team? I mean, yeah, I suppose so. It is, but it's a professional era. These days, people bounce around everywhere. It was weirder seeing him coach rugby league, but he went pretty good there too. So, yeah.
Jed, they go pretty hard at the ball, the Argentinians. That's a lot of their successes come from disrupting ball there. What are some of the plans that you guys have got to ensure that they don't disrupt your attacking breakdown?
Some of our plans. Mate, it's just our attacking breakdown, you know, as every team's revolved around. If you don't have a good attacking breakdown, you can't play footy. So we need to be on in that area, make sure we're arriving fast, and it all starts with what Hats and I've been alluding to this whole conference is our physicality with our ball carry. If we're not physical and we're not getting over the gain line, they're gonna be going hard at that ball, and we're going to be slow to the breakdown. So we need to make sure we're good there.
Yeah. And Neil, can you turn around and scrum in a week?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be a process. You know, with people coming into the team and more people to be added, and where we started and where we're trying to get to. But yeah, we can turn around in a week. But like I said, it's going to be evolution and not revolution. So, and you know, I'm just grateful with the playing group that we got, because, like I said, they're really honest in the review and acknowledge that it's probably the biggest area we need to get right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perception a big thing as well, like in a World Cup year, to show the world, the refs, that the scrum is strong, or does it not matter?
I think it always matters. It always matters. Everyone will tell you that, you know, people ref the game from the first whistle. I think perception's massively important. So, you know, we know with games leading up into it, you know, hopefully in the quarterfinals, semi-finals, etc., the work that we've done in the pool games and in these games that we've got now at friendlies against France, you know, our job is to create that perception.
Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. And Australia versus Argentina this weekend. Both teams looking to bounce back, and unless to draw, one of them will bounce back from a pretty heavy defeat last weekend. Both teams shipping 40 points against Argentina and South Africa. Sorry, against New Zealand and South Africa respectively. So it could be interesting to see how they sort of respond. And I do think that Argentina maybe would have looked at the game last weekend and thought, well, in the second half we progressed quite a lot. I think Australia was a pretty forgettable game. I don't think there were too many moments where they can look back at that game and think we actually took a step forward and there was actually a couple of positives. So as a result, both teams have tweaked their sides quite a lot, and it'll be interesting to see how these changes do affect the team, and they look to sort of really start building up. As I said, you know, most teams now, with the Southern Hemisphere, you've got about 5 games till the World Cup. Not a lot of time, but still a reasonable amount of time to be able to start getting things right. So before we look at the two teams, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Australia on home, so that'll give them a bit of a boost. And in terms of the team that they have announced, this is how they will line up at home. And I think it should be quite a boost for them to be at home. So in the front row, same front row as last week. They did struggle a lot, but I think that they'll back themselves a lot more against this Argentinian front row. So James Slipper captains the side. No Michael Hooper this weekend, so no co-captain. He is the sole captain next to David Parecki and Alan Alalator. In the second row, though, Richie Arnold has come in for Nick Frost. Drops out of the 23, which is quite a controversial selection. I'm a bit surprised about that one. I would have thought at the very least he would have dropped down to the bench. But Richie Arnold next to Will Skelton is an absolute huge lock pairing, and we're interested to see how they get around the park this weekend. A very new trio as well. Jed Holloway coming in for Tom Hooper, Fraser McWright coming in for Michael Hooper, and Rob Valentini keeping his jersey. I've been pretty impressed by Fraser McWright when I've seen him play. So you know, these two have got an opportunity now to sort of stake their claim for spots in the starting lineup under Eddie Jones. It's the same halfback pairing, Nick White and Craig Cooper. You got Bernard Foley, for example, playing in the Australia A this weekend, and Carter Gordon on the bench. So there are quite a few fly options here, but at the moment, Eddie Jones very much backing Craig Cooper to be his number one and to be the fly half that's going to play the way that Australia want to play. In the centre, Sami Karevi does come in for Reece Hodge. He'll partner Nikitai, who I thought was probably the best Australian player on the field last weekend. One of the few players who I thought who actually did pitch up and didn't disgrace himself at all. And Marika Korobeti retains his spot, but Vinivalu has dropped out. And Mark Nawakanitawaze comes in the number 14 jersey. Very exciting player. He's definitely one to watch. People were very surprised he wasn't starting last week or was involved in last week at all. but he does come into the side. Tom Wright keeps his spot in that fullback jersey. Then off the bench, it's pretty much a brand new bench and a 6-2 split as well, which is quite interesting. So Jordan Uelese does keep his spot. However, Angus Bell and Pune Famasiele, they come into the side. So 2 new props, and we'll get an opportunity. Matt Phillip comes into the side, as does Rob Liotta and Josh Kemeny on debut, as they would say over in Australia. So 6-2 split, which means that Tate McDermott and Carter Gordon are the only backline cover. Carter Gordon, well, a bit of a, I wouldn't say a dream debut, because he probably would have liked to have won the game last week, but to score on debut, and what a try it was as well, will have been quite a nice moment for him. But also very interested to see how the very big Josh Kemeny gets on this weekend. Well over 100 kg, standing at about 1.93. So yeah, very much going for. We heard that Ed Jones was talking about, you know, the whole sort of bomb squad approach, 6-2 split, and now we are going to see it. In terms of the Argentinians, this is how they will line up. Quite a few changes in amongst the well, 2 sort of changes, big changes in the pack, and then a couple of changes, but important changes really. So Thomas Gallo and Julian Montoya did keep their spot. I thought Montoya was very good last weekend in a losing effort. Got around the park, made a lot of tackles. It is a new tight head in Francisco Gomez Cadela, who does start this weekend. The same lock pairing in Matias Alemana and Thomas Lavanini. Pablo Batero keeps the number 7, but Jean-Martin Gonzalez shifts to number 8, which is interesting. And Santiago Grandona comes into the starting lineup. Rodrigo Bruni dropping down to the bench. They continue with Gonzalo Bertoneau and Santiago Carreras as the halfback pairing. Mateo Carreras also keeps his spot, but Geronimo De La Fuente has come in at inside centre, bringing a lot of experience, and he's next to Lucio Cinti, who shifts from inside centre to outside centre. Rodrigo Isgro also comes into the side, and Emiliano Baffelli will keep that 15 jersey, and he'll be hoping to do a lot more this weekend than he had last weekend. In terms of the bench, Augustin Creevy will continue to rack up his caps as he approaches that big number 100, first Argentinian player ever to do so when he does get there. Raul Tetas Chaparro comes onto the bench, and Eduardo Bello is the reserve tight head. You then got Lucas Paulo, Rodrigo Bruni, Lautaro Basilio Velez, Nicolas Sanchez, and Matias Moroni. So Moroni's dropping from the starting line to the bench. I was actually quite impressed with Nicolas Sanchez last weekend. We haven't seen him as much, you know, as he sort of brings into the twilight of his career. So it was interesting to see how he actually did look quite good last weekend, and we all remember the iconic Nicolas Sanchez when he just couldn't do anything wrong at one stage back in the day. So it's very interesting to see what sort of role he'll play as the backup to Santiago Carreras during the World Cup. Those are the 2 teams. We will be live for the games, so do come and join us this weekend. Please do smash the like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you soon. Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. For today's guide, how to watch the Wallabies take on the Pumas this weekend. Both teams suffering bonus point losses last weekend, and both teams putting in really, really bad performances. I think Argentina probably the happier of the 2 teams because of the second half they did manage to put together. Australia, very few positives they'll take out of that Springbok game. But the question is, which team will bounce back? Will it be Argentina away in Australia, or will Australia playing at home be able to sort of turn things around under Eddie Jones and start taking steps forward ahead of the World Cup? We'll find out this weekend. And before I show you exactly how to watch the action, please do subscribe to the channel. Please do smash like on the video as well. Now, usually all the Australian games are on 9 Now, which is a free-to-air broadcaster. But it wasn't this weekend, so we wait and find out if this will be the case this coming weekend. But what it is definitely going to be on is on Stan Sport, which has a 7-day free trial, which means that if you're in Australia, you can access that 7-day free trial and watch it for free. But if you're outside of Australia, you can still watch it on the free trial, but you're going to have to use something called a VPN, which is a virtual private network. Basically, what it does is it locates your device to make it seem as if you are in Australia. So, for example, if you go to Stan Sport right now and I'm currently outside Australia and you try and access it, this is what happens. The code and you actually can't log in. But you do the use of a VPN, and we're going to use Bitdefender, who are one of our channel partners. They provide world-leading cybersecurity, and it really works well for VPN as a VPN as well. So as you can see over there, this is what it looks like. So link in the description. You're going to go and check it out. go and get yourself Bitdefender. And at the moment, we are not currently connected, so we're going to turn it on over there. Over here is where you go and choose all your locations. So over here, you can go and choose. They've got 53 locations there. And right now, we are currently secured, which means I'm now going to go and refresh that Stansport page. And because we are now connected to Bitdefender's VPN, what that has done is it's busy geolocating my computer to make it seem as if I'm in Australia, and as a result, I can access Stansport and I can get that 7-day free trial, which I've already done. I've already done all the sign up and stuff like that, and I'm currently logging in. And we are going to watch what's on at the moment. We're probably going to watch a bit of Wimbledon, I think, once this eventually loads. And it's literally as easy as that. So get yourself a VPN, get yourself Bitdefender is what we recommend. Over here it is busy fetching the feed. And you can watch all the action. You'll also be able to use this method to watch South Africa versus New Zealand, which is going to be an absolute cracker. There we go. That is Wimbledon that is currently happening. And you can watch use this method for the entire Rugby Championship, actually. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. Apart from the step-by-step guide is in the description. Smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and we'll see you soon. Right, and we are back. It is Australia versus Argentina, everybody. Kickoff is coming up very, very shortly. So I hope you guys are ready for what should be some really, really good rugby. And hopefully, a good game. On the back of a very frustrating loss by the Boks, I now need to sit and watch a decent rugby game. I don't want to watch, one-sided affair. I want to watch Argentina do the business, really, to be honest. We're all supporting Argentina, aren't we? And yeah, I'd really like to see them operate, because I thought that they were pretty dreadful last week. But yeah, they're a side that when they play well, they're really fun to watch. So hopefully we'll have some fun watching them today. But yeah, welcome to the stream. If you are new, please do subscribe to the channel. Obviously, a lot of people here coming from the Bok game and the New Zealand game, but yeah, we need to move past that. Now this is going to be our coping mechanism. We're now going to watch a different game here, and let's see how Eddie Jones' side do perform. Let's see what they've got up their sleeves here. Let's see if they, if they can actually start pulling together. I mean, for example, something like Will Skelton today. I mean, my eyes are on a couple of people, and Will Skelton is one of those people, because I've yet to see him put in the performance at international level that we see him put in at La Rochelle all the time. And I think that obviously the La Rochelle game plan plays into the way he plays, and I think it's far more suited to him. But at the end of the day, if he can't do it on the international stage, then the world class lock that you think you have is maybe not as world class as we thought. Because this is the pinnacle, isn't it, of rugby? So yeah, something like him I'd like to see really impress me. Interested to see how Richie Arnold goes on. I'm pretty sure that game's supposed to have started now. Is it supposed to start at 2:45? Yeah, we seem to be a bit late over there, which is not the worst thing, because we've been a bit rushed here. We've got a poll running though in the comments. 150 people have already voted, so go and let me know who you are backing to win this clash, and who you're supporting, really, because no, what's some very strange noises happening in and around here. But yeah, in terms of other coverage, stuff like that, we will have press conferences up from the Boks and hopefully New Zealand as well. We will also have, we've also got fan cam out between Wes and Reza, who are giving their thoughts on the game. We've done our player rating show, so you can go and check out. It was a bit of a different format due to issues with the website that we did have. So yeah, it's a bit of a different format, but we did get through it in the end. We decided that Willie LaRue was the best Bok player on the day, which in itself was quite interesting. And now we turn our attention to Australia and Eddie Jones and Argentina. We've always got such a cool jersey. I need to get myself an Argentina jersey. I don't understand how I don't have one yet. It's very poor form for my end. I'm well aware of it, to be fair. I'm very well aware that I should be doing better and I should have my Argentina jersey on lockdown. We know that they've got a gorgeous away kit for the World Cup, so maybe I might have to go and get stuck in on one of those. But we'll look at the lines very shortly. A couple of changes from both teams, so it'll be interesting to see what those changes do bring, and whether Argentina can turn things around. Well, either side can turn things around after a pretty forgettable match a week ago, both conceding 40 points plus. Argentina conceding 40 points plus at home, which is probably not the probably worse. But if you look at the sides here, it's the same front row for Australia. It's James Slipper, Dave Parecki, and Alatoa. Richie Arnold comes in and he will partner Will Skelton. Jed Holloway, Fraser McWright also both come in. No Hoopers this weekend. Both Tom and Michael are injured. Rob Valentini, however, does keep his spot in the side. Nick White will once again partner Quade Cooper, and he'll be wanting a bit more from his pack to give him a bit of go-forward ball and to operate the way he likes to. You've then got Sama Karevi and Len Ikatar in the centre. Karevi coming in. No Reece Hodge in the 23. Morikai Korobeti scored a brilliant try last weekend. He's got Mark Nawangani Tuwase on the other wing as well. He comes into the side, and Tom Wright at full back. Off the bench, Jordan Ulese, Angus Bell, Puna Famusila in the tight head, Matt Phillip, Rob Liotta, Josh Kemeny on debut, Tate McDermott, Carter Gordon. It is a 6-2 split from Eddie Jones. I must admit that the bench for me is would be a bit of a worry if I was an Australian fan. I think some nice players there, but I'm not convinced it's going to be the impact that they would really like. If we look at Argentina, Thomas Gallo keeps a spot, as does Julian Montoya. But Francisco Gomez Cadela comes into the starting lineup. It's the same lock pairing in Matias Alemano, Thomas Lavanini. Pablo Matera keeps the 6. Jean Martin Gonzalez moves from 7 to 8. Santiago Grandona comes in the number 7 jersey. Gonzalo Bertolino, Santiago Carreras continue their halfback pairing. Mateo Carreras, Rodrigo Isgro are the 2 wings. Geronimo de la Fuente, Lucio Cinti in the centres. Emiliano Buffelli at fullback. And then off the bench, it is Augustine Crevi, Noel Tetas Chaparro, Eduardo Bello, Lucas Palos, Rodrigo Bruni, Lautaro Bazan Velez, Nicolas Sanchez, and Matias Moroni. So those are the 2 teams. They are walking out, so the anthems will be underway. We'll probably have started about 5-2 maybe. So they do seem to be running late for some reason. I've got no idea why. I need to unmute things so I can actually hear what's going on. Right. Evan saying Australia put in much better players. Will be much better than last week. Douglas saying we'll feel lightweight after the last game. Alpha Lincoln says Bok coach has got a big wake-up call today. A team needs more games to start ticking over because they looked prepared. A team, I think. Yeah, sorry. All Blacks were more accurate because they didn't make much changes. Argentina, my favourites here, but Australia will probably bounce back. Evan saying New Zealand came with a well-oiled machine. SA came in a bit rusty. It showed. Coaches obviously more focused on testing specific positions and players, so hopefully got what they needed. Albert saying Karevi, very good change. Saxman saying Stephen, would you think it's a good idea for Mace to play for the bench as he would have a bigger impact against tired legs? I don't think we can really make that comparison, to be honest. I think that the plan for the Box would have worked had we been a bit better in that first 15 minutes. I don't think you can plan for conceding, those sort of points as poorly as we did with seasoned players. It wasn't like we started with bad players, but a lot of players who we become very reliable just didn't pitch up today, and as a result we were on the back foot. So yeah, I think the bomb squad, for example, almost worked. But I do think that there's a lot of information we can take out of today's game, and interesting to see how they do move from that. Chris says Delende was the best number 12 in the world in 2019. In my opinion, I think his time might be up, not because he's become terrible, because of who can take his place. Well, this is the thing. We've now got probably 2 more games. We've probably got the 2 Argentina games to really get that sort of information. I think when we move into our final 2 warm-up games, Rugby World Cup warm-up games in New Zealand and Wales, I think by then we'll probably need to have our sort of final 23 pretty much sorted. So I think 2 more games of maybe we're experimenting, and then we'll be off. So now we've got lots of different Australian welcomings before we get underway, but we've got a welcome to the country coming. And then eventually we have the anthems, and eventually we get underway. Yeah, this for me is supposed to, as I say, I'm pretty sure the schedule said 11:45. So we all seem to be pretty far behind here. Evan saying Espo with utility options. Albert saying David Williams says a bench player, full stop. Chris saying Marks needs way more time on the field. I bring him after 30 minutes every game. Well, yeah, we can do that way, for example. And I wouldn't be opposed to that. I don't mind him on the bench, though. I've said it many times. And whether it means he needs to... as I said, if you look at the game plan per season, he does get more game time than Bonke Madami does. He does actually play the most out of all our hookers, as you'd expect him to. Some people say that he should still be playing more, which, there's a case for that. But a lot of it's also combinations. They talk about combinations and the fact that, that Kitsov, Marks, Bits and Koch scrumming combination is very specific, as well as the Oxen, Che, Bongi, Banami, France, Mahova combination. And if you look at like heights, for example, and stuff. So I suppose there's a lot more to it than just, I think gone are the days where you just play your best 15 players in the starting lineup. You do need to have a balanced 23. We got it right a lot in 2019. Have we got it right now? Maybe not. But we've still got a bit of time to work that out. We finally had the anthems underway, by the way. Almost 7 minutes after the kickoff was supposed to have started already. But yeah, if you are new to the channel, by the way, keep subscribing. We need 700 to get to 33,000 subscribers. I don't know if we'll get there today. Maybe we'll get there this weekend. But if you guys could help us get there, that would be highly appreciated. Right, we've got 161 votes in the poll. Please continue going voting, by the way, and showing your support for the channel. I think we had a member earlier, so welcome to the members club. If you are new to the members club, and if you'd like to become a member of the members club, then please do. The link, well, actually, I haven't posted the link. Probably explains why some people haven't joined the members club. King Paul said Williams is a much better fullback than 10. I don't know why he has to play 10. I'll tell you exactly why he has to play 10 today, because he is our utility back in for the World Cup. He is our player 73, and as a result, if Pollard goes down, he needs to be able to play 10. And you can't just go from never playing 10 to playing 10 in a World Cup situation. So, you know, Williams is at 23. He's not gonna bench Willie LaRue, for example. He's not gonna bench Andre Pollard at 10. He's probably not going to bench a Damien Delendi or an Andre Estes at 12. He is on number 23, so he needs to play in different positions. Last year, Williams probably had his best international season ever. Was he great today? No. Am I panicking about him? Also, no. But that is why you have to play 10. If you're just looking for a genuine explanation. Whether it's a good explanation, whether it's good enough, that's up to you. But that is just the reality, is that, you know, if he wants to play in that France stone role, then he needs to be able to, he needs to experience in the different positions and stuff. So yeah, we've got the Australian anthem going on. I'm seeing a lot of mullets out there. I mean, Carter Gord's got a pretty impressive mullet. Nick Weiss got the tash, although I think Wes is better. Chris saying, I agree, Marks off the bench is the best. It's a huge psychological boost, just needs more time to make an impact. And why wasn't Marks and Kwaka not effective at over the ball, turnover ball? I think our tackling probably had a lot to do with that. I think that we didn't, it took a while for us to, really sort of adjust to the game. I think that they had to, I think Kwaka Smith, you know, didn't have a lot of opportunity to get over that ball. I thought the breakdowns in the first half were pretty poor. I thought we were a bit slow getting there, and that's the thing. Same with the tackling. You know, we were sort of cover tackling all the time. I sort of cover defense. Now, to get a turnover, you want, you know, that chop tackle in space. You know, bang, Kwaka's over, bang, Marks is over. That we didn't really get to do that. We were kind of sort of rushing around all the time, making sort of half tackles, making desperate tackles. You know, we didn't really get to get the sort of clean tackles where you can get over the ball. Though Kwaka Smith still was pretty good. Right, here we go. Kick off. And it'll be Argentina who will kick off. And they're going to be playing right to left from the looks of it, depending on what side the camera is on. I'll have to confirm that. Right now, yeah, it looks like they're playing right to left. Australia receiving kick off left to right. And yeah, got paper. The man in the middle with a South African representation. Right, there goes the whistle. We are underway in Australia. Going down the middle of the park with Argentina. Here we go, lads. Here we go. Now Nick White goes back to Quade Cooper. Quade Cooper, it's a pretty looking kick down the middle of the park. It's got a good favourable bounce as well. And that's Carreras, his first carry of the day. Bertrand going to Godella. Now Bertrand to Bafili, first receiver. Good hands, good hands. And that is Lucio Cinti who's made the break. Lucio Cinti looking for support, gets it away. It's a really good support play from Carreras, who puts the ball down, gets back up. Argentina into the 22. Quick ball now for Bertrand. He does go to Pablo Matera, who hit hard in the tackle by Anato and David Pereki, but this is good. Start chef from Argentina, front foot ball. Now they're going down the left-hand side. Dule Montoya. Now Carreras. Chipping behind. That's Carreras with the pace. He's got the pace. Look at the first. Oh, I think they've both missed it. It was a sprint talk between him and Tom Wright. I think 22. So I think try to work out who's got this here, but that's nice. And yeah, nice option there from Carreras to kick him behind there. Nice start here from Argentina though. That was very, very close. Good covering there by Tom Wright in the end. Right, there's a 22 apparently. Naka Paper's not going to go have a chat with someone. I'm not sure who. Penalty. Penalty of Argentina. Not a rapid tackle. Yeah, come on. Let's go the Argy Bargies. Bargy Argies. Right, decision time now. I'll show you take the points here, lads. Yeah, there comes the kicking tee for Mariano Bafeli. He didn't get a lot of opportunity to kick last week, which for a world-class, arguably the best kicker in the world, is annoying, I'd imagine. Michael Checker watching on. They've also got this whole like sort of tee thing that they all sort of travel around with. Very interesting. What are we saying? Do we still have a chance of winning the Rugby Championship Cup? No, I don't think so. Actually, the bomb squad is so effective. Why hasn't any other team copied the concept of rationalization, political and fair? No, it's not. Australia currently playing with 6-2. So yes, it is the concept that other teams do use. And Boffelli has, oh my goodness, come off the post. It's fallen to Nick White. How has he missed that? I mean, that is the most un-Boffelli-like moment you'll ever see. But Australia not out of trouble yet. They're on their try line. Valentini. Yeah, and it's a good tackle as well. Argentina have got their tails up here. And penalty, yeah, just offside there. Yeah, and I think Chris has actually nailed it. The reason that we go with the bomb squad is because we've got such good forwards. Now, yes, today it didn't work, but look at the World Cup. I mean, at one stage, people were arguing that we had 4 of the best of the 6 best locks in the world. And how do you drop, for example, the 6th best lock in the world? How do you not involve him? Back when we were playing that well. So that is the reason. I think it does work. I think it worked against it's worked against a lot of teams. You play to your strengths at the end of the day. It's just about getting it right. Today we got it wrong. We will get it right eventually. Anyway, so Argentina are putting a little bit of pressure on you. It's a good lineup though from Australia, and they've got the rolling more rolling here. Good throw that from Parecki, and I think it was Jed Holloway who went up and grabbed that. So pretty good rolling maul as well. A lot of Argentina players having to scramble a bit here. Very good rolling maul this. And Will Skelton's got his ball in the hand. And now he does break this Will Skelton up towards the halfway line. Very, very good maul there. Now Karevi going direct, as you'd imagine. Penalty advantage here. Now Nick White, options there. Oh, inside switch from Craig Cooper is left behind. Will be a penalty. 12, taking it quickly here. Mark Talonga needs to ask there. He's popped it up towards Tom Wright. They're into the 22. Now Fraser McWright to Craig Cooper. Craig Cooper, long pass out wide. Was that not forward? Inside ball. Len Nikita was over. I think they're going to have a look at that forward pass. I personally think this was drifted forward here from Craig Cooper. And Bafeli and Nikita are down. Nikita went very, very low. Bafeli mashed him down on the ground, and I think it's a shoulder-to-shoulder collision. I think they're both pretty sore from it. But I think we're going to have to go back and have a look. I don't feel the decision is a try. I want to go look at this. I want to have a look at this this pass. I reckon it could have drifted forward here from Craig Cooper. Actually, it's pretty flat, actually. I'll take it all back. It looked a lot more forward from the angle. We have to wait and see. Oh, we're looking at the tackle. No, it's a completely legitimate tackle, yeah, from Bafeli. It's a good try. It's a completely legitimate tackle, though. It's a very brave tackle to get that low with good technique. Yeah, so I think the pass was right. It's a good try. It's a brave effort from Bafeli, but that's a good start from the Wallabies. And I reckon this game could be very end-to-end. It's a good pass. And a little pop back in there coming from Karevi as well was intelligent. It's not Karevi. Who's it back inside from? Yeah, I mean, it's a great effort from Bafeli. You couldn't have asked for more. He gets himself so low. Trying to sort of drive. He almost does it, actually. He's not far away from actually preventing that tackle. But it's really good from the Nikita. As I said, ball in the right hand, or in the left hand, which was the right hand. And it's a good try. It is a good try. Not the start that Argentina would have liked. Craig Cooper, that is a gorgeous kick. Just starting slightly to the right, curling back inside. And the Wallabies open up a 7-point. I tell you what, if you have epilepsy, do not go watch a match in Australia. They absolutely love the strobe lights. Eddie Jones looking like he's sitting at a call desk. Why is Sonny Bill Williams the sideline commentator for Oz versus Argentina? That makes no sense. Argentina wants to go down the middle side towards the right to make it competitive. And then, oh, they've won it back brilliantly. Who is that? It's Isgro. That's a brilliant win back. So Argentina with ball in hand. And Amano now moving up. Really good work there from Argentina. They were really looking a bit more sharper than last week. Now here he goes. Lavanini, whilst he's still in the park, the most carded player in history. It's a wild thing to have. Thomas Gallo. Oh, he's still going. He always is, isn't he? He's still going as Thomas Gallo. What a player. Bertrand out. De La Fuente. Little dabbing behind. Ooh, try to keep it in there. I think it was Lucia Cinti. I think they did go out. Not a bad option, though, from De La Fuente. Back into the side. Good to see. Yeah, just out as Lucia Cinti was trying to keep that in play. But again, not a bad option. Drive Australia back a bit. They do go try and compete, but it's another good take there. Now Fraser McWright breaks off. Good tackle, good tackle. And Gino Montoya was in a good position to try and have a go with the ball, but the charge down kick now. Falls back to the side of Argentina. Who wants it? Carreras wants it. It's really well done by Montero. Oh, good offload there from Albert Bafeli. Bafeli looking for options. Brought down by Valentini. Now Bertino. Montero, that's dreadful pass from De La Fuente having to clean up. Wouldn't surprise me if he goes towards the boot. Does try to step back. It's a good tackle coming from James Slipper, the captain for today. But a penalty for Will Skelton, who's got a pretty long reach and gets over the ball and wins that back. Good work there from Will Skelton. Good work earlier on by Lavanini for that charge down. They do compete once again, and it actually came off the hands of Rodrigo Bruni, so they are looking to compete to Argentina and almost getting there. Now penalty advantage here, Yako Paper. Well, here we go. The very exciting. No one going. Oh, he's cheapest. He's still going. No one going to need to ask there what a play he's going to be. Very exciting play. Little dab ahead from Quay Cooper. Regathered by Julian Montoya. They'll go back for the penalty advantage, which if it was Mathieu Reynal, probably would have been an advantage over. We saw a very quick advantage over during that game. If you like, by the way, Jacques Nienaber's press conference is on the channel. It is live, and we will have a Stephen Kitsov one coming up as well. Australia taking the points here, by the way. I'm taking the 3 in front of the Poles. At the moment, it's a pretty high-tempo game. Argentina struggling a little bit on defense, but looking pretty good with attack. Well, both teams looking pretty good in attack, then, I suppose. Right, and a very good kick from Quay Cooper. You need a good game today. A lot of people sort of questioning whether he should be the flower half after last week, which I think is pretty unfair given the fact that I thought he was. I mean, the Australia pack was going one way and that was backwards last week. So you're never going to have a particularly good. I mean, it's about like Dane Williams today. You're always going to struggle when your pack's going backwards. All of a sudden, he's got a pack that's doing well. He's already played a big part in a try. He's really had a good conversion, a good penalty. 10 points to 0. So far, and Argentina slipping behind quite early and needs to try and sort of find some points here. There's no point playing well, and that's another good kickoff there from them. Will Skelton under a bit of pressure. Knock on advantage, but really putting a lot of pressure on the kickoffs here, Argentina. So they're doing a lot right, but also making some silly mistakes. Now up and under here coming from Argentina. And it comes back, it comes back to force to Will Skelton. And Perfetta's good kick and chase from himself. Now Pereki deciding to go to Karevi. Matera is there. He slips the tackle of Matera. And the ball eventually falls to Corabetti. Throws it back inside. Turnover ball, though. So Argentina come away with it just by the halfway line. Argentina with ball in hand now, Bertino. And they've won it back again. Tell you what, the kick and chase now, Bertino right up against touchline decides to go the floor route, and that's going to run out beautifully. Really good work. It's a couple of nice kick and chase there from Argentina. Not bad. Not bad. They do seem to be winning the battle in the air, which is a good battle to be able to win. And it's good. It eventually falls back towards Valentini. It was a good contest once again, though, from Argentina. You're really trying to give them a hard time at the breakdown. Quay Cooper not particularly happy. Eventually does find touch, but under a bit of pressure there. See, Michael Cheika's not looking worried. I think that probably shows, says a lot, is that he's watching on and he's not panicking here. Another bit much better line out there. But as I said, it's been turned over once again. Julian Montoya gets up to full steam, runs to Fraser McWright. Looking for carriers, and one arrives with Rodrigo Bruni. Good carry from him. And that's El Toro who turned that ball over, but then Bertino goes over and he turns it over. So I tell you what, it's an absolute frenzy at the breakdown. Now, but Bruno at first start, there's numbers. There's numbers. Isgro on the inside. Gets to the 22. Lavanini hit hard on the tackle. He's met by 3 Wallaby defenders. Now Carreras. To Bufeli. Bufeli caught in the tackle. Good work there from Argentina. They go into the 22. Bertino fires it out to Bufeli. Long pass out wide. There's a 2-on-1 here. They can create it. Isgro goes himself. Karevi has to come across and make the tackle up towards the 5-meter line. This is really good from Argentina. Now Lavanini. It's very upright in the way he carries. I think he just needs a bit more, a bit lower here. But this is really good work here from Argentina. Going through the phases, getting some momentum. Bertino to Bruni. Sorry, it's Gonzalez. Bruni was not even starting. I'm being stupid here. Bertino pops it up there. Rondona, the newbie. Ball pops out. Bertino gets away to Carreras. Pops it up to Lucio Cinti. Shifting from inside to outside center. Now Bertino. Oh, kicking behind. Carreras has to get back. And he does. And my alarm's going off. I shall return very quickly. Right, well, false alarm, goal. I didn't even miss any action. Goal line drop out there from Australia under a lot of pressure at the moment. So Argentina now having to restart. Ball's available there for Butch, you know that. Now Carreras. Cinti, trying to straighten, losing his footing. Oh, inside ball. A nice little change of angle there. Archie's still on the front foot. Bufeli, judging by that pass, don't think that shoulder's 100%. Carreras. Brought down by Carrera. Fraser McWright is lurking. Short. Straight through the hand. Turnover ball here. Parecki dives on it. It's stolen once again by Argentina. This time Alemano. All these numbers out wide. Surely. Bufeli. Cuts inside as Isgro. Once again out towards the 5-meter line. This is all Argentina at the moment. But they've got to try and capitalize on essentially. Bertino first receiver. Now going to Alemano. De La Fuente inside behind the back. They're trying to run straight into Carter Gordon, who's onto the park. Bertino going himself. Montoya spins around the tackle. So Carter Gordon is on. For Lenny Catal, he's gone off. Now Carreras has to leave that ball now. Now it goes back to Lavanini. 10 phases, but so far the Australia defense holding up pretty well. Slow ball now, penalty advantage. Free roll the dice. And chip over the top from Bertino. And Will Scarlton doesn't even have to jump. He just puts his hands up in the air, manages to grab it, and it will be a penalty for Argentina right in front of the poles. So it'll be interesting to see the option they do take here. it is basically guaranteed 3 points. And I suppose why wouldn't you take it? So there's a big moment in the game, though, the fact that Lenikata has left the park, because Carter Gordon's not going to have to fill in, and they don't really have another recognized 13 in the team yet. So Carter Gordon's going to play a much bigger role today than he did last week. Trying to work out exactly how they're lining up here. Who is going to 13? He's going to go into that channel. Buffet's going to take the points here. Right in front. Still not convinced his shoulders are right. I think he's still in a lot of pain, but they're leaving him on for as long as possible, I think. Yeah. Craig Cooper hangs it in the air, and it's been... Oh, I'm not sure that's been dropped by Toa. Great work by Australia to win that back off the kickoff before Toa there knocking it on. Kickoffs have been very contestable, though, for both sides, which is quite interesting. Yeah, Checker not happy with that at all. Right, so it'll be a scrum here for Argentina. Big scrum though from Argentina, from Australia. Argentina do get the penalty. Right, let's see at the top here. What are they seeing? Yeah, angling in. It's a pretty easy call, I think, there from James Slipper. Pretty good line, but I think Will Carlton's coming. Yeah, he must be all side. Penalty advantage here for Argentina. They do get the penalty. They'll be able to progress further out the park. Yeah, so offside there from Will Carlton. So go to the corner here, Argentina. So an opportunity for them to try and score their first try of the match. And if they convert it, they can make it even. Big carry there. Argentina just 2 meters out. Discipline now needed. Big carry there. Penalty advantage here as well. Surely they can go over. Surely somebody can go over here. Good defense once again. Short again. We go down the right-hand side this time. They've still got a penalty advantage, though, so they still have a bit of a free run. Thomas Gallo has the go. Now Lavanini. New advantage as well. Throw it to the back line. See what they can do. Good defense here from Australia. Argentina just need to try something a bit new here. Come on, lads. You had penalty advantage. You got 2 penalty advantages here. 9 phases. They're still keeping it tight. Now here comes the back line. De La Fuente, straight over. Argentina hit back. Into the team, onto the score sheet. Geronimo De La Fuente. What a player. What a player. Yeah, and straight between Balatina and Nick White. Really good carry there from De La Fuente. A couple of good carries. Eventually they decide to go out a bit wide. Straight over. Bang, Argentina are back. They are back. Yeah, it's a very good kick from Buffelli. That's the nice thing. When you've got Emiliano Buffelli as your goal kicker, it doesn't really matter where you score. 10 points each. Game on here. That's what I like to see. As I said, if I'm going to lose this morning, I want to see it. Ooh, I've got a big problem. I need to put beers in the fridge. I've got lots of beers to get through later, and they're all going to be very, well, to be fair, it's so bloody cold in Joburg, they'll probably be quite cold anyway. But yes, I'm sure that is sorted for later, because I do not want to be drinking lukewarm beer after a Bok loss. Because that'll be even worse. It'll be cuck on cuck. It's a really good running Moyo with the kickoff here from Argentina. They're still going. Guys, still go. Keep going. Keep going. I mean, Bertino's ready to use it, but I mean, why? Now he does go use it. Goes to the boot. Carreras is chasing hard. We need to put a bit of pressure on Tom Wright. Montoya is there to complete the tackle. That's really good work from Argentina. Now Quay Cooper. Flat ball there for Karevi. Sorry, for Corabetti. Couple of Argentina players not running away. Call and penalty. I would say just thought about something, at least silver lining pressures off the box. Yeah, we can move back to not being favourites and being written off, and yeah. Right, all of a sudden Australia back on the front foot here. Oh, bit of a gap opening up there. It has been closed. And penalty for obstruction against Australia. I'll tell you what, Australia were all over Argentina for the first 10 minutes. Since then, well, I'll tell you what, as soon as Argentina got ball in hand, I think they've definitely been the better side. Yeah, so Alato playing the man off the ball. It's pretty stupid from him. There we go, off the back of the line. It was good work here from Argentina. Senti stepping back inside. Tell you what, Argentina attacking shape is looking really good. Very bright, very quick. Quick hands. Here's Grenard back on the inside. Not rolling away. Surely Paper, not rolling away. Surely Yako, surely Yako, surely Yako. I mean, they've slowed that ball. Yako Paper, you've got to award that penalty. Now, Organituasa has taken so long to roll that ball. I mean, look, you can see how Argentina are feeding off quick ball. That's the. Oh, here we go. Carreras with a half break. Skelton reading him in. Burton now. And that's gone to nobody. Oh my goodness, they're giving it straight to back to Thomas Carter Gordon. Is he going to go the length? Is he going to go the length? He is going to go the length. Oh no, he's not. That's a phenomenal cover and tackle. Yako Paper, can you wake up though? Because that was a clear penalty for Argentina. Now Organituasa, it took like 4 years to get up. He was definitely impeding the ruck. He's definitely not running away. And there's nothing from that. I don't understand how you can allow that. I mean, it shouldn't even be allowed to have had that attack. Now all of a sudden, Argentina on the back foot shows. Good lineup though. So as Bertino looks to try and kick, probably kick a touch there, get themselves out of danger. Slow past the halfway mark. Is that going to find touch? I don't think it is going to find touch. Doesn't find touch. So Kurabeti coming back inside. It's a good tackle though, coming from, well, it's a half tackle coming from Gonzalez. Right, now Australia. Holloway. Nick White. To Cooper. Cooper to Carter Gordon. Fraser McWright. And they've busted forward. Turnover ball here for Argentina. And they kicked a forward pass actually, so go back for a scrum. Australia making a lot of mistakes all of a sudden. Taylor says, do you think Coach is a good coach? Do you think Eddie is a good coach for the Aussies? Yeah, I do think he is. I think it'll take time. That whole thing where he's like, no, you know, I won't be staying on beyond the World Cup is a weird. I mean, it's a weird thing to say, if nothing else. But I do think he's a pretty good fit. I think that he'll need a bit of time, and I think that they eventually will get him operating. Michael Checker is getting as animated as usual out over there in the coaching box. Bit of a break and play here. Like Paper having an opportunity to talk to Toe about the scrum. Da, 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 da. Right, so scrumming up for Argentina. Still inside their own half. What can they cook up here? 8 minutes to go for half time. I've been pretty impressed with Argentina so far. It's amazing how much progress they've made in a week. Gonzalez wrap around there from Bertino. Oh, that's good from Carreras. Oh no, Buffetti had to hold his line. It was a great offload. It was a great idea from Carreras, but Buffetti too busy coming inside to add the support. Wasn't expecting the offload. Does drift forward, but very, very nice attacking shape. Nice idea from Carreras. Really nice idea. Yeah, Ikatal's shoulders heavily strapped up here. That could be, I think that's the end of his rugby championship. Tell you what, if it's serious, that could be the end of his World Cup. And I think Lenny Ikatal is one of the most important players for this side. So that's a really, really big blow for the Aussies. Oh, he's broken his bind there. He's broken his bind there. James Slipper's nowhere there. Nah, I'm not convinced. Not convinced about that shot. I think James Slipper's absolutely nowhere there. No, see, for me, he completely loses his bind there. I don't know. Maybe I don't know the rules particularly well, but I mean, he's not bound to anybody. Right, now Australia on the front foot, Chad. It's a good line out. It's good looking maul as well. They've got a bit of a run going. It's going to be a try. Through the middle, though, the call. And now they don't have to release it either. That could be turnover ball. Played. It looked threatening. But Argentina doing very well to come through the middle there. I think it's Gonzalez in the end there. When is the player review show for the Bok game? We already had it. Here it is on the channel. We had it earlier, so you can go back and watch it. You did it immediately after the Bok game, so it's all there. The review is there. The player rating show, a Stephen Kitsoff press conference, as well as the Jacques Hinobar press conference. It's all on the channel already. Content. So there's plenty to keep you busy. Right, it's coming up for Argentina. 4 minutes to go, so I think this is just to kick us as far down the field as possible. Since you rushing the Fuente running the crash ball there. Now coming back to Bertino for the clearance. Bertino, it's high in the air. It's a very good clearance. Very, very good clearance. I'm actually very impressed with that. I think that Gonzalo Bertino has got this game with a bit of a shoestring here. Good take there from Robert. He popped it up there for Fraser McWright. And it looked half decent. Carter Gordon running onto it. Playing it outside centre. Not his usual position. But this is the problem, isn't it? When you play a 6-2 split and you get that injury at 13 is probably the worst possible player to actually lose. There has to be an Argentina player all over that ball. Nope. I'm going to need to ask to come away with it. But yeah, eventually the penalty comes from Yak Pape. I was about to say, there's an Argentina player all over that ball. Cushion is bloody falling off. Right, good line win there from Argentina on the front foot here. Can they score a try for half time? Take a lead. Oh, goodness me. Goodness me. Here's great. He got the pace. Yeah, he's throwing it straight back into Carter Gordon. Mate. Over the ball's pulled back Argentina's side. Carreras. Argentina still on the front foot here. What a move that was off the back of the line. Popped it up from Gallo. Bertino. Little basketball pass. Oh, there's so much space. Someone has to score. Someone has to go over back on the inside. Oh, the handling. Lucio Cinti almost there. There's so much hands on the ruck there. Yako. Thank you. The hands on the ruck, for me, has to be a yellow card. Is a yellow card. Right, so the Australians are going to leave the player here. Rightly so. What a little move off the back of the lineup there. Well, is okay to continue. So they've had a check and they're saying that no issue with the tackle on Isgro. And it is Jed Holloway who's going to go to the bin. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it should have been a try. Yellow card, yellow for Australia. Argentina all over the Wallabies. Now they're going to attacking scrum with the player down. Surely this is the opportunity to capitalize. Go into half-time with the lead and the player down will be the perfect way to finish off the half. And they really deserved it as well. Big scrum, yeah. Big scrum, yeah. Huge scrum, yeah, for Argentina. Now off the back goes Gonzalez. Just short, good tackle from Valentini. Slow ball here. Penalty advantage here for the Argentinians. Kevin goes the over. Penalty, another penalty here. Right, another scrum here for Argentina. Can they finish the half on the high? Ooh, a penalty for Australia. That's a huge moment in the game. Right on the doorstep. And Australia have managed to win a scrum penalty. That's a very, very big moment. He said, the commentators say Eddie Jones asked them to roll up their sleeves and show a bit of fight. That's a big moment in the game. To concede a penalty there. Right, half time, 10 points apiece. What's pretty even. I think Argentina definitely will be frustrated. They should have gone with the lead. Australia, I suppose, doing well to find that final penalty. But we'll be back after 10 minutes. People, please do smash the like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. And hopefully a very exciting second half is coming up soon. Right, and we are back from half time. Australia, Argentina, nothing in it at the moment, although I do think that Argentina will be the happiest side. They do start the second half with a full contingent. Australia have won the kickoff, though. That's a really good start from the Australians. The kickoffs have been an issue for both teams. Well, I suppose, obviously, conversely, they've been very good for both teams, but basically the team receiving the kickoff have really struggled. Corey it's a pretty strong run as well. So Australia down to 14 men. So a big effort needed for them in the early stages here. Julian Montoya, though, goes over the ball there, and that's surely playing the ball on the ground there, Mr. Jakopepa. The ball's come back there. So, but a couple of, that's another really good turnover. Yeah, and one on the ground by Pablo Matera. So a couple of big things for Australia. First of all, they've lost Len Ikatar, who, quite apart from anything else, being one of their best players, is a 13. And at the moment, they've now got Carter Gordon playing just his second test out of position at 13. It would also mean that they've only got one background replacement in a replacement scrum half in Tate McDermott. So yeah, it's worrying signs for Australia because the rest of the backline's going to have to go actually the full 80, and any injuries would be quite very detrimental to them. But first of all, also a big welcome to George, who's the latest member to our Forever Sports Members Club. Big thank you for joining and showing your support. So what do we think? In the beginning of the match, I put out a poll to say who do you think is going to win. Argentina now lead the poll. I meant to actually close it earlier. So I can put the same out the poll and who will win. Based on the first half, I'm going to change it slightly. Based on the first half. Good line there from Argentina. They're right on the run foot there. Lucio Cindy hit hard by Kwaku, but managed to bounce off him. Inside ball though. Good work here from Argentina. I'm really enjoying the attacking shape I'm seeing from them in the Nagondona. Yeah, Barnage as well for the high tackle though. So free roll of the dice here. Metanino goes to Lavanini, avoids his lock party, who's on the floor. So Adamar looks in a lot of pain here. Right, so it will be a penalty of Argentina. I'm sure they'll go for the corner here. Or I tell you what, they kick into the lead here with the 3 points. But with the man advantage here, that's David Parecki here, I think, who... No, so that tackle was fine. I think this is the tackle here. So it's Pablo Matera. No, why are we looking... Guys, can we look at the right tackle here? Bloody broadcasts are hopeless here. I think it's, no, it's again, that's not the right tackle here, people. The whole point of highlights, people, is to show what's going on, to highlight why there is a penalty. So, can you show us why there's a penalty? I don't feel like we're asking a lot. We're asking to be kept informed. But yes. The good news, people, by the way, big announcement on next week, Thursday, we'll be announcing our World Cup coverage. We put a lot of effort into working out exactly what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. Next week, Thursday, we'll be announcing what our World Cup coverage is going to be and what it's going to feature. A couple of new things on the channel, a couple of the old tried and tested stuff as well. So you'll get exactly the same sort of coverage that you're used to, except on like steroids. So very, very excited to share with you guys exactly what our plan is. I think it should be very, very cool. We are trying to embark on what is one of the biggest Rugby World Cup YouTube campaigns ever. That is our plan. That is the plan. So yeah, we'll be able to share that with you guys next week Thursday. So keep an eye out for that announcement. So I think they're taking the points here are Argentina, from the way that they've dropped that ball there. I think that Panama is going to get a bit more attention here. Richie Arnold, by the way, the bad got yellow carded. Still in the bin. Should be coming on in the next sort of 3-4 minutes, I reckon. And here comes a replacement for Argentina. So Matias Tanamano is going to go off. And the rather large and physically impressive Lucas Palos comes on with a lot of hair, adding a bit of weight to it. He stands at 2 meters tall, but about 123 kg. So certainly packs a punch, does Lucas Palos. And just under 5 minutes left on the card for Richie Arnold. But Carreras with ball in hand, which would suggest they're then going to go for the corner. So I think it's the right move, actually. I think, given the fact that they've got a bit of dominance and a man advantage, try and go for the try. Be brave at the end of the day. Be brave. Right, 10 minutes out. Davini goes up and comes down. Penalty advantage taking him out, though. So another free roll. The dice here for Argentina. Australia discipline is starting to really affect the game now. Bertino is looking to use it, does use it, goes to the Fuente, first receiver, goes to Carreras, good hand, straight through. Isco steps back on the inside. It's Carreras, in fact. Mateo Carreras this time. Now De La Fuente, ball over the top, long pass out wide. Isco steps inside, backs himself. Oh my goodness, he's butchered it. He's butchered it. I mean, it's a brilliant tackle. That is dreadful. Absolutely dreadful from Isco. I mean, Bafeli is there. Bafeli is there. That is, you should be shot on the spot. In fact, you should be taken off. You should be subbed. To not have scored is an absolute joke. If they don't score from here, I'll be catching hands. I mean, Bafeli is literally inside there. He would have walked over. It would have been the easiest try of the year for Bafeli. Right. You're saying Australian broadcasts are terrible at rugby. You're not wrong, mate. I kind of like Carter Gordon so far. He plays an attractive game. Yeah, he's a very nice and nice player. I think he's very exciting. Not an outside centre. He seems to be coping all right in the centres there now. But, yeah. And Albert's saying, one thing is sure, the bounce of the ball did not go the back way. Calls went against us. I think quite literally the bounce of the ball didn't go against. A couple of the New Zealand chip over the tops also bounced to their favour. Look, we're winning today. And at the end of the day, when you're the team applying pressure, you often will get 50-50 calls as well. So, right, Montoya comes off the back of it, going on a marauding run, and then 3 Wallaby players on here to bring him down. Now Cadella, nice strong carry from him. Argentina on the front foot. Bertino going to Thomas Gallo. Oh, he's still going at Thomas Gallo. Just that's going to be a penalty advantage. Has to be a penalty advantage. Has to be a penalty advantage. No penalty advantage, apparently. Pick up and goal. His hand's in there as well, I think. Slipper drives them back. Montoya. He thinks he scored and the try is awarded. Right, well, the most relieved man in the world is Isco right now. But the captain, fantastic. Julian Montoya goes over. He's been brilliant once again today. Captain courageous, leading from the front. And he goes over. Brilliant work there from Argentina. Good pressure just before Richie Arnold comes back. So it's an important time to score as well. Reaches over, dots down. Really good work there from the captain. Yeah, good pressure there for Argentina. What a victory this would be for them to go and beat Australia in Australia. Once again, they go pretty short to Australia. This time it hasn't got 10, though. So it'll be a scrum at halfway. Did Argentina play that? No. Young Pepper saying no, they didn't. That's really poor though. Good knock on coming from Argentina. From Gomez there. Pretty poor from him. That should allow them to bring on Richie Arnold, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Gonzalez is there just to pick it up, and Nick White's on like a flash, forcing the turnover, forcing the knock on. It'll be a turnover ball. Australia scrum now on the halfway line. Look at him, Nick White. Yep, and Richie Arnold is back on. So back to full contingent Australia. 17 points, 10 is how it stands with just over half an hour to go. The question is, can Argentina hang on to that lead? Can they build on that lead? Or will Australia come from behind now and win? Pretty big hit there from Australia. They've actually dominated that Argentina scrum. It's going to be a penalty advantage. That's actually been obliterated. That's almost embarrassing from Argentina, how badly that scrum was. Now working to Warte. Good work there. Cheapest Craig Cooper. That's barbaric throw. A little NFL throw back towards Karevi. He does that in his arsenal, the old Craig Cooper. He'll find a way. Anything there. No one going to Warte. Once again, another good solid carry. Then now Valentini get on the action. Penalty advantage here for Australia. Carter Gordon out first receiver. Parecki getting himself around the park. Craig Cooper. Karevi back to Craig Cooper. And a penalty for Argentina. I don't know if that's a new penalty. I think it is another new penalty. So that's 3 penalties in a row. So Junior Montoya might have a bit of a talking to there from Yaka Paper. Good take there. Australia on the front foot. They're still going, yeah. Penalty advantage, Australia right on the doorstep. Yeah, this could very well be the try to tie the game up once again. There's a lot of pressure coming. Craig Cooper back on the angle. Gets held up. Good defense from Argentina, but penalty advantage for Australia. So still a bit of a free roll of the dice. And Toa. Nick White popping up to Carter Gordon. Gordon's left it behind. They'll go back for the penalty. Right, so scrum here for Australia on the 5 metre line. Big opportunity for them now. Nick White sniping himself. Oh, that's dreadful. Nick White's over. The Argentinian defence switched off for a moment and allowed him to go straight through. That's far, far, far too easy. Absolutely dreadful from Argentina. Good for Nick White. Good awareness. He took a moment to assess his options and then thought, hello, there's a lot of space there. But it's just to the left. Then goes to the right. Grandona's so slow to react. He's got to be on the other side there. He's nowhere. He's absolutely nowhere. Now, all of a sudden, Cinti has to come across. By the time that Nick White makes the break, Cinti's got no chance. But you can see, if De La Fuente is wrong for it, he's the one that's the channel that would have been there. And Grandona's far too slow off the back of that scrum. Now, okay, Cooper adds extras. Right, they're tied up again at 17 points apiece. 26 minutes to go. So the game is a bit of a knife edge at the moment. Oh, jeepers, another really good kick chase. Australia had come away with it, but it was really good work from Argentina. Almost went back once again. Oh, the good hands. The hands. Cinti back inside. Good hands from Argentina. Quick ball now. The big man, Lucas Palos. Bertino. Oh, good deft touch there. Matera though, hit hard. Now Gonzalez working hard. Good hands once again. Buffetti out towards Isbro, cuts back inside. Good work from Buffetti as well at the breakdown. And Bertino is absolutely swarmed by the Australian players. And he's held up here as well. There's going to be turnover ball. It was very good time. I'm trying to work out who actually made the tackle there. I think it could have been... I think it was Carly Gordon actually might have made that hit. Ball was out of the call. So Rob Liotta on the park, by the way. A couple of Australian players on the park from the looks of it. So starting to unload his bomb squad of his own there, Eddie Jones. Looks like he's put on Matt Phillip and Liotta. Yeah, and it's Matt Phillip who makes the hit there. Very good awareness from him. Will McWright slips as he uses it. So under a bit of pressure here. Australians do scramble to help him out. Argentina doing well to retain that kick. Buffetti now goes to the boots. That could be too far. It is far too far. That's really poor from Buffetti. It was a snatch at it really. I don't think he really need for it either. And all of a sudden he's gifted Australia a line out inside Argentina territory. So that's really, really poor. Tell you what, I've been very, very impressed with Carly Gordon so far in this game. Bailey also not looking happy. He did get a pretty big hit when he tried to stop that leg at Qatar try. He was down for quite a while. Oh, turnover ball there from Argentina. That's brilliantly worked. But Bertrand right up against the touchline. Needs a bit of assistance here to stay in. Does stay in. Does very well to stay in. Very good turnover from Argentina. Lucas Palas now behind the advantage line, but sets up a good rack and frees up the scrum off, which is the main thing. A couple of blockers here and a bit of a train for Bertrand to use as a shield. Right, now a lot of chases here. It's not going to take a long way, so it should be competitive. It's a great take, though, from Nongu. Is it right? That's a good carry there. Yeah, it's fine. Well, then that must be holding with the Yaka paper. It is holding. Argentina get the penalty at the breakdown. Really good work there. And it's Gondorno who just got in there. Should got his hands on the ball. Had to have a check and said, "I'm okay, yeah." And Yaka paper says, "Yeah, you're fine. Play." And he wins the penalty. So Argentina have a penalty. Right, so good work for Argentina. Just need to sort of stem the flow. You kind of shift the momentum back in their favor. Yeah, it looks like Isgro is still sore here. I'm not sure he's going to be able to continue. Argentina might have to turn to the bench. Mattis Moroni, I think, has actually come on for him. So they're taking the points here, Argentina. But Feli is lining this up. And 9 times out of 10, he would slot this. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. It is pretty good. Mariano Buffelli restores the lead for Argentina. 20 points to 17 with 20 minutes remaining. Right, the restart. This time it is to keep Argentina much better from them. It was a bit deeper, though, from Australia. It wasn't as competitive. But, yeah, a 3-point lead for Argentina. What a win it would be for them. Especially when they were abject last week for a large part of the game. Knockwood backwards. Good carry there from Tom Wright. So Australia do maintain possession on the halfway line. Puts his head down as Rob Liotta goes on his first carry of the day. Nick White. Tom Wright chips it ahead. Good work there from Carreras. And penalty for offside. Never back onside of the course. It's a penalty for Australia. It's annoying from Argentina. Da, 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 da. The good news is it's about T-minus 3 hours before I get to Lighter in a very cold Johannesburg. Have some beers with some mates and actually have a Saturday afternoon off. Which is very weird because we don't usually get Saturday afternoons off. In fact, I've got a weekend off next weekend, which is even weirder. But yeah, and then after that, it's just non-stop for the rest of the year. It's mental, actually. It's Rugby Championship, into Summer Nation Series, into World Cup, into URC. It's mental. Good work over here. Carter Gordon going to Karevi. Nick White to Toa. Good momentum this from Australia. Now Nick White wants to go to the right-hand side. Matt Phillips first carry. He's hit hard on the tackle, but makes a meter or two. Now switch direction. Yeah, Craig Cooper spots a bit of space. Wants to go himself. Bringing up that old step of his. Tom Wright. Toa, good hands there. Cora Betty. Goes nice and low to Buffelli. Nick White under a bit of pressure there. Tom Wright gets it away to... Oh, it's a great tackle from Isgro. Who is still on the park, by the way. So Moroni's on. Who's off then is the question. Is he on in the centres? I imagine so. Lucio Cinti maybe, or Ronaldo de Fuente. Who haven't we seen in a while? Another good tackle. It's a very good tackle, in fact. Moroni getting all over this now. And a good appreciation to all to understand that he hadn't come in legally and left the ball. Oh, that's dreadful. That's gone forward. Surely it is forward. Turnover ball. Really good work from Argentina. Under a lot of pressure there. Let me have an update and see who's come on here. So Moroni's come on for De La Fuente. So Lucio Cinti, I'm sure, will shift into inside centre there. Those are the only three sub. Well, the third sub is Eduardo Bellas on for Francisco Gomez Cordella. From the Australians, Philip and Liotta on, as well as Carter Gordon on. He was pretty on early. We imagine you'll probably see a front row change coming up quite soon. They might hold back Josh Kemeny, given the fact that they might need him to play in the back line if things do go badly. Well, here comes Angus Bell. Good player, Angus Bell. James Slipper giving the last few instructions before he does depart, the captain. So I imagine the captain now would probably be Nick White, I'd imagine. Looking at the players here, Nick White, potentially Quaid. I don't really see anybody else here sort of be standouts there, really. Making his return from injury here, Angus Bell. Big coming from Australia. So Argentina do quickly. They go on the right-hand side. And then launch a pretty big kick. It's a fantastic catch that from Tom Wright. I think a couple of Argentinian fans are reckoning he might have knocked it on. I think it's a brilliant catch on the ground. Returns the favour though. I think Carreras will return the favour once again, going pretty low on the bounce. Karevi running into it. Corabetti running into it. He wants to run himself. Sees a bit of space. Great tackle coming, I think, from favour. Nick White stands a bit of space. Brayson McGrath steps from the inside. Gets the offload away, which has gone forward. And it'll be another scrum. Good energy, though, from Australia. Very good energy. And now a bit of afters. A couple of words between Tom Wright, Valentini. Carter Gordon getting involved. I mean, Carter Gordon's skinny guy. I mean, just pick up and just toss him. Pablo Matera. No way is Pablo Matera involved. Who would have thought? Who would have thought Pablo Matera would be involved in a skirmish? First says, what do you think the Bok team will look like going to Argentina? I don't know, actually. I mean, it's two ways to go about it. Obviously, you want to give a lot of players an opportunity. I do think of players like Alert Diaga, Damon Delindi, Franco Mostert. I think what we saw from them today is they need game time. So I think that they should all be starting. So, Eddie Jones tossing in the equipment and everything. I'm not quite sure. I think you've missed where Blue 23 started this. It's Matches Moroni. I don't think it's much in here, lads. That's an interesting thing. So they're saying that Matches Moroni caused it, but then Rob Valentini came in and pushed it. And they say that Valentini's was worse, therefore there are penalties for Argentina. And so is the captain, by the way. I actually meant to mention they could be option. So 2 penalties, but the final penalty going the way of Argentina. They are starting to sing. That's a big Argentinian contingent. I just want to watch an Argentinian game. Like, imagine sitting in the Argentinian fans. I reckon it must be such a joy. Like, I want to go watch a game. Imagine watching a game in Argentina. I mean, they all speak Spanish. I wouldn't be able to understand what's going on. But I feel like it'd be a joy. Nick White is off, by the way. Tate McDermott has been sent on. And Josh Kemeny on as well for his Wallabies debut. As the commentators will be saying, yeah. Good line out there for Argentina. And they break. Oh, inside ball. Brilliantly worked. And Yaka Paper's been taken out. They're still playing. The Yaka Paper records. He's managed to get himself up and go forth. Good old Yako. Absolutely completely cleaned out there. Oh, now there could be some space here. Carrera's coming inside. Carrera slips the tackle. After 22, you're going to work from Argentina. Thomas Gallo. Needs to release it. Doesn't release. Montoya's pleading for the penalty. Buffelli at first receiver. Matera does manage to get the offload away. Sinti needs to try and get things back and going again. Oh, there we go. A bit of space down the outside there. Good work there from Carrera. I'm going to join him on the wing there. Oh, there's space. Goes to the boot. I think that's Nicolas Sanchez. Oh, he's knocked it on. That's Tom Wright. That's Matthew Moroni who kicked him behind. He's knocked it on. It's going to be a scrum for Argentina inside the 22. Interesting times. You're saying Karevi made a noticeable difference for us this week. Mind-boggling that Eddie picked Hodge above him. Yeah, I think that was purely on the kicking battle. And I reckon that was a response to Andre Estesen starting. And I reckon I'm going for kicking battle there. Matera playing for his country. You have to understand the passion. Eddie's so pissed off. I wish I had a clip of him. But Yako Paper being cleaned out there. Poor lad. Right off the back of the scrum there. Stucio Stinty getting off the way to Moroni. It does stick. Yeah, penalty advantage. Quay Cooper caught in the ruck there. Lucas Paulo. Bertrand now going to the left-hand side there. Matera. And that's a great break from Carreras. He steps outside. He's over. Argentina are over. Look what it means. Christ, how many Argentinians are over there? I had no idea they would have that kind of support. What a try. What a moment. He's not the biggest player. In fact, he could be one of the smallest wings in the world. Old Mateo Carreras. But tell you what, he's a he's a passionate player. A big heart there. I mean, he's 1.72, 23 years old. Plays rugby in the Premiership. As I said, he's nothing, not particularly tall in stature, but look at the pace. Bang, 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 bang. And over he goes. Julian Montoya goes past him to celebrate. Big moment in the game. This could be it. Eddie Jones must be fuming. Absolutely fuming. Come on, we've got to get the reaction from Eddie Jones. We've got to get the reaction from Eddie Jones. He must be, I mean, he was throwing his toys earlier, so he must be throwing them even more now. in for a very interesting post-match press conference. Michael Cheika potentially doing one over the Aussies now with Argentina. Buffetti with the kick. It's looking pretty good as well. Straight down the middle. Right, well, with 10 minutes to go. Argentina lead by 10 points. 27 points to 17. Deep restart, Matera underneath it. Big carry from him. Props to that Bertino. I'll tell you what, Bertino has been absolutely brilliant today. Under a lot of pressure, a lot of the time, and he's dealt with it, for example, like that. Bought a bit of time, got in amongst his forwards, gets himself out of trouble. Good take from Tom Rudd. Australia last 10 minutes on the 10-meter line. Got to try and make something happen quite soon. Liotta now. McDermott going to... It goes out, bounds out to Corey Betty. Corey Betty's finding a bit of say. Inside to Quay Cooper. Quay Cooper steps inside. He's brought down just short, pops it up. And Karevi, well, not over yet. That's what Australia have to say. Not over yet. Karevi goes over. Brilliant counter-attacking there. And Argentina, the elation turns to panic. Yeah, you can see the overlap here. Yeah, Cooper, rides the tackle, comes up just short. First thing he's thinking as soon as he's going down is where's the offload, who's available? Yeah, pops it up to Karevi. And he just pops it up for Karevi, who's following it well. It's great work by Craig Cooper. Well, here we go. With the kick to come. Craig Cooper's nailed that as well. We've seen a bit of an exhibition from goal kicking here today. Really good work. Eddie Jones has broken his headset. He's thrown it back down. I'm not surprised it's broken. Deep reset from Argentina. For them, it's all about playing in the right areas now. They've got to just get through the next 7 minutes. They had been the better side. It'll be a bit of an injustice that they were to lose, but it is theirs to lose. Carter Gordon goes down the middle of the park, not looking for touch. Now kick and chase, yeah. Just outside 22. It's a brilliantly worked there. Carter Gordon's very good underneath it, though. Slightly out there. Lucas Paulo, though, loses footing. Able to take McDermott, sends it to the left. Angus Bell still going. He's eventually be brought down by the halfway line. Brilliant carry from the loose head. McDermott surveying his options, goes to Quay Cooper. Quay Cooper decides to kick over the top. Retreating is Carreras. He's going to have a bit of time, yeah. Needs to find a good touch finder. Carter Gordon's kept it inside. Tom Wright now. Pops it up to Carter Gordon. He's left it behind, in fact. Kicked ahead by Pablo Matera, who regathers. Argentina all of a sudden inside the 22. Argentina on the front foot in the 22. Slow ball, yeah, for Gonzalo Bertino. But the main thing is that they've got possession. Nicolas Sanchez on. Drifting out. But fairly right on the inside. How's he stayed in there? That's brilliant work from him. I don't know how he stayed in there, but fairly. Bertino back inside. Pablo Matera bumps off one. Keeps going. Good tackle there. Solid carry here. 5 meters out show Argentina. Surely a try would be enough. Pablo Matera. Oh no, it's been intercepted. No one going to watch it to go the way. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that's just happened. Oh no, man. Oh my word. I mean, literally, Nicolas Sanchez throwing the last pass for the try. And the Wanganitawase has come through, intercepted, and gone the distance. Oh my goodness. Argentina have butchered it. They have absolutely, well, still got 4 minutes to go. But I mean, that was literally, if he does not catch that, Argentina are over and they've won the game. That's a massive call to make. Probably to be fair, very telegraphed from Nicolas Sanchez. How have Argentina done this? How have they managed to throw this away? Well, it's not over yet. They have 1 minute back. It's a 4-point game, though, so they've got to score. A penalty is not enough. Big counter-attack coming from Australia. Advantage there. I don't know if it's a penalty advantage or it's a knock-on advantage. For the knock-on, so I'll go back for the scrum. Initially there, so scrum for Argentina. They've got to find a try, though. A penalty won't be enough. It's a 4-point game. Big scrum this from Argentina. Surely they can call out one more opportunity. Yeah, knock on from Carter Gordon. It is definitely a knock on from Carter Gordon. Mateo Carreras is down in a lot of pain. It's going to be 2.5 minutes left when the game does restart. Ooh, penalty. Penalty here for Argentina. Late tackle here. Potential penalty here for Argentina for a late tackle by Australia. So a bit of a lifeline potentially. Yeah, it's a penalty there from Craig Cooper. Goes high and late on Pablo Matera. I think it's a pretty easy decision to make, to be honest. Yeah, the tackle from Karevi, I think he's pretty committed to. But the tackle from Quay Cooper was late. Right, attacking lineup here, opportunity for Argentina. 2.5 minutes to go. Can they get themselves another one back, get the lead, steal the win? Pretty good kick from Carreras. The fans are up for it. Right, they're 10 meters out to Argentina. Step one, do Australia try and compete? They don't. It's a clean hit though. Argentina trying to set up the maul here. Lavanini working really hard to try and get up. Yeah, he has gotten rid of 2 players. Good work from him. Augustin Creevy, one of the most experienced hookers in World Rugby. The most experienced Argentinian player of all time. Goes himself. They're just short. Pick up and go. They're right here, Argentina. They're so short. Recycle that, recycle that. Try line fever could be a problem here. Come on, lads. Just. Oh! Just short, just short. Lavanini now with ball in hand. Less than 2 minutes to go. Running through the phase, pick up and go. Just short once again. Oh, he's over! He's over! They scored it! No, I think he's over. I think he's over. Argentina think they've scored. It's been scored. It's been confirmed. Oh my goodness. What a match. What a moment. I want to see Eddie Jones' reaction to that. Heartbreak for the Aussies. Elation for the Argentinians. And less than a minute to go. Bang. And remember the name. Remember the name. We all saw it last year. But Jean-Martin Gonzalez into the number 8 had the mettle to pick that up and go straight over the top. What a moment. What a victory. What a match. Please, Australian commentators saying they want to look at a potential knock-on. Take the L. Hold it. It's been clear. Argentina have done it. That is it. That is full time, ladies and gentlemen. What a match. What a way to finish. Just for the extras, Buffetti does slot it. Final score over in Australia, 34 points to 31. What a moment. What an absolutely amazing moment. Look what it means to the fans. What a match. People, thank you very much. It's been a very interesting morning of rugby. Any day when Argentina wins is a good day, to be honest. And yeah, people, we'll have the Eddie Jones press conference up later, which I'm sure will be very interesting. We will also have hopefully the Michael Cheika press conference up as well. So stay tuned for that.